Okay,
All right.
think we're ready.
Ready for another hopeless stream?
Are you guys ready for another hopeless stream?
Well, we don't make them hopeful. So
No.
they're always hopeless. They're always going to be hopeless.
So I'm just gonna check out the audio first of all.
Check out the audio.
Just some maintenance here, just to make sure that everything is working.
Yes. And while you do that, I can just say that today we're playing Rocky Mountain Man.
Rocky Mountain Man.
This is a game designed by Nate Hayden. And Nate Hayden, he's a champ.
He's a
Because
champ.
Nate Hayden was
One of our
actually
local heroes. Not local, but one of our heroes.
one of our distant heroes.
Distant hero. That's the best kind of hero.
The best kind of hero. So no, but Nate was actually the first one to pick up the Hopeless game trilogy of Lost Hope that we made.
Yeah.
And was the first to sell it in his store. So it's super cool today to be able to play a Nate Hayden game.
Yeah.
And there are several to choose from.
Yeah, he's very productive. He and his crew are doing a lot of different games.
They're doing a lot of. They've done a lot of horror games actually.
Yeah.
Like B horror games, Psycho Raiders, and Sea Evil, and
Some great names there.
there's some great names. Like there's also one about a carnival freak show, I think it's called.
Yeah.
But we decided on Rocky Mountain Man because Rocky Mountain Man is it's a solo game. And we're just gonna play it cooperatively. You can actually play it as two players, where each player have their own crew and move around the map.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna play it together because it's more fun.
More fun that way. That's how we like to do it. We've done a lot of solo games where we play together, but I think it works great.
Yeah, I think it works really great, and then we get to discuss our decisions instead of just sitting in our own headspace and making decisions on our own.
Yeah.
It's more fun, really, to do it together.
Yeah, we can tell a story together, and somehow it works.
Yeah, I think so. I really think it does. And today in Rocky Mountain Man, what we're gonna do is we're gonna explore the wilderness of the old American West.
Yes.
We're gonna go into the Rocky Mountains, and we have no idea what's in the Rocky Mountains. You can see on the map it's mostly blank.
I've never been personally. Been to Idaho.
You've been to Idaho, yeah?
Is that close?
I think it's close.
Yeah.
I think it's close. I think that in this game, really, we probably set out from St. Louis, which is a little east of the map.
Okay.
But we're gonna start in Missouri. I don't know. Is this visible, this pawn? Because instead of using the marker, I thought that a pawn is gonna be it's gonna be this. If the camera can focus and I can hold it still.
And tell the story behind this one.
Yeah. So. Yeah, please help me there.
I can
you
force
make it
the
focus?
camera to focus somewhere.
Yeah, Jesus.
Some hand-eye coordination is required.
It's required. But as you can see, it's a cross, and it's actually a cross made from a bullet or a cartridge of a bullet.
Fitting.
Yeah, very fitting.
Oh, you know what else we have to turn on the candle.
Oh, we have to light the candle. That's
Get some atmosphere here.
Yeah. We're gonna start here in Missouri down here. We hope we can see this counter.
So I want to burn.
We need some incense for this.
Yes, some Rocky Mountain incense.
Yeah, you can just.
Imported.
Can you perhaps fit it in the cactus?
Yeah. This is a beaver incense made from beaver pelt.
Mm-hmm.
It's very authentic.
It's awesome. Yeah, there we go. And speaking about beavers, in this game we're gonna play as a fur trapper, and we decided to play as one of the historical mountain men. Jim Bridger, who was one of the early explorers in this area, and he was a hunter and he was a trapper, and he went out and took part in the fur trade. And what they really did, these mountain men, was they went out and they were mostly hunting for beavers. So just saying it up straight as it is, we're gonna be hunting for beavers.
Let's get that out of the
way. That's pretty much what we're gonna do. We're gonna be hunting for beavers. And the reason that we're gonna hunt for beavers is that beaver skin or beaver fur is extremely valuable at this point. Everybody wants beaver fur because there is a fashion in Europe and probably also on the American East Coast at this time. We're playing in the 1820s.
1820s.
1820s. And the beaver skin hat was extremely popular. So, for example, like top hats made from beaver skin were extremely popular. So that led to a lot of people going out into this area, hunting for beavers and making a fortune off beaver skin.
I don't get it. Those hats, when I see pictures of those beaver hats, they're not that cool.
They were to the people back then. I'm sorry to say,
and also,
you know?
Who were wearing them? Was it men, women, kids?
I mean, I've mostly seen pictures of top hats for men. And I know also that
I'm thinking of those where it says a little beaver tail attached.
Oh, that kind of... okay. Maybe they also made those kind of hats, but I think a lot of the time they're actually like very smooth hats. And... the beaver in this part of the world was almost eradicated. I mean, they almost killed all the beavers hunting for this beaver skin. And the only thing that really saved the beaver was that the fashion changed and beaver skin hats became less popular because we started to get imports of silk from the East. So now you can make silk hats, and now silk hats were more fancy than beaver hats. Yeah. So now it was the silkworms that had to suffer instead of the beavers.
And they still do to this day.
And they still do to this day. And maybe I don't know if there's a game out there about hunting for silkworms.
I imagine it would be less action to hunt for silkworms. That's maybe an idea for another game.
Maybe an idea for another game.
I just want to acknowledge all the cool people. You're very cool that are in the chat. We have Tatravitrier. Welcome back, Tatravitrier. And yes, you're right. The Get Ready font from the intro is actually from the Chaos Engine. A great game.
That's pretty well spotted, I'd say.
I think it takes a true connoisseur to spot that one. So well done. And the Catonic Crystal Channel, welcome and thank you. Yeah, Tatarita, of course you're right. We don't doubt your knowledge, your infinite knowledge.
of
obscure
old computer fonts, computer game fonts.
Computer game fonts is a very particular, specific area of expertise.
We know Tad Savagers who have expertise in many different fields, and obscure computer game fonts is just one of them.
Well, it's just one of them.
Yeah,
and we're not surprised, insanely enough.
No. So, Jim Bridger here that we're going to be playing as is... I mean, I don't really know too much about Jim Bridger, so it's going to be our version of Jim Bridger. We just wanted to...
It's also like it's 200 years ago.
Yeah, it's 200 years ago. Let's say we play in 1824, then it's exactly 200 years ago. And we're going to start in springtime. That's what this down here shows you. That shows that it's spring right now. And I think the way that I think of our Jim Bridger is that he's a guy who wants to escape civilization. So he's leaving St. Louis behind and he's traveling into the Rockies to not only, hunt for beavers, but also to escape civilization and to be on his own and get away from the noise and the bustle of the city. But perhaps sort of one of the sinister underlying themes of this game, and one of the things that really makes it a hopeless game, is that these mountain men, in a sense, were also paving the way for the civilization that came after them. They just went out into the wilderness, into the blank. They started mapping the Rockies, and these maps, as you can also do in this game, you can return to the city and you can sell your maps for dollars. But these maps then became sort of the blueprint that were used to create wagon trails and roads, and the whole Oregon Trail, for example, happened in the wake of these mountain men's exploration. So in a sense, even though we're trying to escape from civilization, we're bringing civilization with us. We are bringing the curse with us And the civilization that's not out there, it's gonna be there when we're gone.
And these men, they didn't know what they were sort of paving their own doom, because when civilization came, it sort of it made the Rocky Mountain Man extinct.
It did. I mean, we have these letters from Rocky Mountain men writing in the 1840s where they're writing about, oh, it's terrible, there's no room for us anymore. Civilization is coming, we no longer have the right to be free and freeze and starve to death in the mountains.
Everything was better in the olden days.
Yes, when you could just turn a corner and be eaten by a grizzly bear, that just doesn't happen anymore. And they're sort of bemoaning the fact that things have changed.
So I would just say to everyone, be careful what you wish for. Be careful about wishing about the past. There might be no future, but the past is not much better.
No. And when you're trying to create a new and better future, invariably you're creating something worse.
Yeah, that's just the human condition, I guess.
But we're going to be playing at a point in time where at least there was the illusion of us going into the wilderness and being our own free men and living this free life. But of course, we're just dooming everyone that follows after us to civilization.
Yeah, it's like we're carrying a virus of civilization.
Yeah, it's the story of someone who goes somewhere to save somebody, and then they bring the little germ with them that end up infecting everybody and killing them off.
Zero.
Yeah, and we are the patient zero here, actually. We just don't know it. We think we're cool, we think we're escaping, we think we're doing good, but we're just going to kill us. And another thing, of course, is that this wilderness, it may be completely unknown to us, but is not unknown to everybody, because there are lots of Native American tribes living in this area, and we're going to encounter some of them in this game. And, we're going to try to be on a good footing with them.
Sure.
But things can easily go wrong in these cultural exchanges, these cultural meetings.
Yeah.
So we might also run into some trouble.
We'll see. I think the danger is everywhere.
Yeah. It's not just local tribes.
It's also just the nature itself.
Very much.
Other mountain men, perhaps?
We may encounter other mountain men, I guess. We may try to ford a river and just drown. There are many things. You can see we've put down here some meebles, and that's actually our whole crew. So what you see here, the big red guy, that's Jim Bridger himself.
Aha.
And then we have, following him, we have 2 soldiers, we have 2 hunters, we have a doctor, and then we have 2 Native American guides to help us. One of them is a Ute guide, which we call Halona, which means happy fortune.
Great, and that's a great
that's
woman.
Someone you want to bring, right?
Yes.
And the other one is called Kimi, and he belongs to the Shoshone tribe. And Kimi means secret. So I don't know, I guess perhaps we're thinking that because it means secret, it means that he knows his way around the territory, and he can help us find all the good spots where all the beavers are. Then we have, over here, we have our 10 horses.
Yeah.
And those are the horses that we use just to ride across country with.
So we're a whole wagon train, or a whole...
we're a whole group. We're a whole big group. We're 8 people, 10 horses. We also have 2 pack horses.
Okay.
Who's going to help us carry all the beaver skins that we're hoping to find. And then we have 10 rifles. And rifles can, of course, be used for killing grizzly bears, I guess. Or if we should run into trouble with the native tribes, we might have to use rifles. But rifles are also something you can trade with, because many of the tribes out there, they have discovered these fur trappers coming into the territory, and they find out they're carrying these shooting irons, as they call them. And they also want those shooting irons, so we can use that in trade. We have no money. We had $1,100 when we were back in St. Louis, but we just spent them all on outfitting this whole crew. And what you see over here...
So we have no money.
We have 0 money, but you can't use money when you're trading with the tribes.
Okay.
That's only what you call this kind of a barter economy, right? So you give them a horse and they give you something else. Then over here we have all these little weird counters. Those are actually some kind of shells, but those are our rations. So this is the food that we got when we start out.
Okay.
We got a whole bunch of them, so we're not going to starve right away.
But it's 10 men, or is it 10 men?
It's 8 men,
8
so
men.
they're gonna eat. But we
And
can,
horses.
but we can hunt. Like every day, we can hunt. And since we start in spring, hunting is better. And hunting is especially good if you're close to a river or a lake, because there it's just easier to find food for us.
Oh, we got some wilderness advice from our local wilderness expert, Tatsivitrier. And he encourages us to not get stuck in swamps, which I assume is probably great advice.
Yeah, we have gotten stuck in swamp before, right?
Yes.
That was when we were playing Barbarian Prince.
Yeah. So we already have bad swamp experience.
Yeah. Right now, there's not really a lot of swamp out here. What you see here, this part of the map, I hope you can see that it's colored differently. But this part over here, that's the Rockies. And we are out here on the far east. And then after the Rockies come the Mesa, the sort of the tablelands, I guess. And then at the far west, just behind the cigars, lies the desert.
And what is the scale of this map?
It's huge. I don't know how exactly it scales, but it's huge. And I can tell you one thing. We're not going to map everything in this game.
Well, we can try.
We can try.
I don't know how fast this game moves, but we can try.
I think at our speed, we're probably not going to get very far, but
That's
anyway,
the spirit.
That's the spirit. And then the thing is that right now it's spring, and the seasons are going to change as we play.
Yeah.
We're thinking of playing maybe around 30 minutes for each season.
Should I set a timer or something?
Yeah, perhaps when we start, you can set a timer. And then about every 30 minutes, we're going to change the season. And also, you guys watching, if you get tired of watching us playing in a season, just tell us.
Yeah.
And we can change the season.
Yeah.
Or if there's like a good dramatic point in the story to change the season, we'll do that.
Yeah. Ketonic Crystal, the map is primarily Colorado from the Front Range to eastern Utah. Aha.
All right. Okay, yeah.
I don't have so much geographical know-how of that area, but
If you see up in the top left corner of the map, there's a little bit blue up there.
Yeah.
That's actually the Great Salt Lake. And so Salt Lake City is somewhere there.
okay.
By the way, your frame still says "get ready."
In the Chaos Engine font.
Yeah. Well,
But
we are getting ready,
we
but
are-
perhaps we should remove it.
Intentional, of course. Let me see. Fix.
Yeah. And then you see down here there is a town, or it's actually further south. It's just pointing to the town of Tejas down there, which is Spanish territory. So south of this map is, again, I'm sure Chthonic Crystal Channel can, help us get the geography right.
Yeah.
But as I understand it, just south of the map is New Mexico, which was New Mexico, which was New Spain at the time.
Yeah.
So that's where the Spanish are. And the Spanish are also sending out dragoons, which is this sort of light cavalry troops that are riding around the area, patrolling it, scouting it, but nobody has really claimed this area. But they're in the area, and we can encounter Spanish dragoons as well.
Not friendly, I assume.
I assume they're not friendly. I don't know.
we'll see.
We have rifles and we have a lot of men and we have local guides. So I mean, we're gonna try to stay on friendly terms with these people. And I mean, we also already have a Ute guide and a Shoshone guide. So I think that's at least a good start. Maybe you'll meet. Yeah, Joseph Smith is a little bit later, but I think the Mormons. Joseph Smith is the guy who started the Mormon religion, and the Mormons.
A cult.
They followed the Oregon Trail to Salt Lake City and or settled Salt Lake City. I guess that was settled by Mormons.
Also known as the Oregon cult.
The Oregon cult.
Yeah. Bornholm. Yeah, maybe.
Yep. New Spain, today New Mexico. Cool. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's where we're gonna be headed. And I guess we can start. One more thing is a couple of more things actually.
Okay.
You can see here in the middle of the map. Right there, is the rendezvous. And the rendezvous was kind of a fair, an annual fair where fur trappers and native tribes, they would meet up and they would barter, and they would enjoy themselves and probably get drunk and dance around a fire, and sometimes ending up shooting each other or a game of cards or something. So we can go there if we want to go to a fair, if we have something to sell.
How do they set it up? It's not like they have a BBS where they can post the.
No, I think in the early years it moved around. So the rendezvous could be in different places, and then at some point in the 1830s or something, it found a specific spot, and then everyone knew like this is where you go. But
it's still happening today.
I don't know. I guess some guys are probably reenacting this thing, right?
Yeah, probably
in full costume and everything.
I hope so.
Yeah, that would be great. But I don't know. I guess word just got around. Like, we're gonna have the rendezvous next year in this part of the country, and then be damned if you can find it. But apparently they did.
Cool.
So another thing we're playing with today is we're gonna playing with the Sasquatch mini expansion, which is a fan-made expansion.
But tell me about that one. You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, it's of course because one of the fable legends of this country is the legend of the Bigfoot. And there was a mini expansion made for the game that introduces the Bigfoot. So we're gonna have some sightings of Bigfoot, and maybe you can start doing that. You can see we have 3 black counters there. Yeah. So if you just hold them above the center of the map and drop them one by one, that'll show us where there have been reported sightings of Bigfoot.
Should I just drop them all at once, or
I think just one on one, so they don't end up clumped together too much. And then that's boring.
Let's see.
Yeah,
so there's
and just move it into the closest space.
Closer to the cigar.
Okay, that's pretty far, but there is a reported sighting. Oh, that's closer. That's good. Another sighting. Oh, and that's one of the rendezvous places. Perhaps there was a Bigfoot event at one of the rendezvous in the past.
Yeah.
I don't know. So if ever we end up in one of those spaces, they also move around a bit, those counters. But if we end up in one of those spaces, maybe we'll be able to find the Sasquatch or the Bigfoot, or as I think it's called in the expansion, the boss of the woods. Wow. As far as I understand, that was how the Native Americans referred to it, as the boss of the woods.
Okay.
So, and I don't know if we really want to encounter Bigfoot.
But imagine the types of hat you could make out of its fur.
Huge hat. Many huge hats out of its fur. So maybe, I think definitely, I mean, for me, that would be something to go for.
Yeah.
If we can prove or disprove the legend of Bigfoot, I would feel that would be something.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. So we're definitely going to try to do that. It looks far, but let's see. I mean, I have no idea how this is going to go. If judging from previous experiences on this stream, it's going to go terrible, but we're going to have fun along the way.
Give it our best shot.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to set a timer for the season change, and I'm just going to set it for 30 minutes.
Yeah,
and we'll see how it goes.
And then we see if you want to change after 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so how this thing goes now is that we are here in Missouri, and we're just going to head west. Mm-hmm. So every turn, we decide how far we want to travel. And the quicker we travel, the more dangerous it is. But if we travel very slowly,
methodically,
it's I mean, as soon as we start exploring, we can only move one space into uncharted territory. So that's going to make it so. So I think really what we want to do. Oh, now we have a lot of incense at the Royal Gorge.
I think that historically there was a lot of incense at the Royal Gorge.
Yeah, I seem to remember I read something. But. So I think that we should just try to get close to uncharted territory as quickly as possible, because we don't want to be where other people have been.
No.
I mean, who cares? No, who cares? So let's just start traveling. You see, we have horses, which means that every space is just 1 point of movement, and we can do a maximum of 3 points of movement in a day. And uncharted territory is 3 points of movement, so that's only 1 space a day. Mm-hmm. And mountains are also 3 points of movement, so we can't ride across mountains. But what we can do is that we can travel through these alpine woods along the Arkansas River for 1-2 spaces and end up here. And then there's mountains and mountains, so we can travel for a maximum of 2 spaces here. So I think we should do that.
Yeah.
And find out how it works.
Yeah.
So we're gonna travel, and then because it's known territory, we don't really have to make any rolls to get about getting lost and things. So we just basically move straight there. But because we're moving 2 spaces, we're traveling at a fast pace. So we have to check if there's any danger.
Okay.
So we're gonna draw a card and see if there's a danger written on it. This is an unconventional way, I should say, for people who know this game of setting up the cards, but that's how we do. So what happens immediately is we have an event.
Yeah.
So if you will roll 2d6, we'll find out what that event is, and I'll see if I can find the event table.
Let's check it out. Is that 53 or how do you?
It's 8.
It's 8.
It's 8. Okay, so 8 says a guide. One of our guides, the Ute guide or the Shoshone guide, they are certain that there are unfriendly and powerful Indians in the adjacent hex. Roll direction. Guide will leave if you enter this hex. Whoa. So you can see this direction chart down there. So you just roll 1 die and we find out which direction the danger is in.
6.
So where is that? That's straight to the left. Okay, well that means that...
West.
That's, yeah, straight west. So let's put a danger marker. Oh, this is not a good danger marker. That's this here. This looks super dangerous.
Yeah.
So I think we don't want to go into the Royal Gorge because then we're going to lose one of our guides.
It's also, why would we go into danger so early? I mean, we're not looking for danger.
We're not looking for danger at all, actually, on the contrary. But then again, I mean, this is the Ute, this is the Shoshone, but there are many other tribes here. So we want to be friendly with as many tribes as possible.
Yeah.
But maybe there are grudges between the Utes or the Shoshones and these other guys. We don't know. So we go there, and then normally what we do, if there are any encounters on the board, like other tribes moving around, they would move now, but they don't because they're not around. And now comes the time when we're gonna eat. And we can also hunt. So, and we can also set beaver traps. But if we set a beaver trap, that means that we want to go back to this space in the future.
We have to go back to check the traps.
Yeah. So I think we should set the traps when we're a little further into the territory, but we have 5 traps. I mean, it's more than 5 traps, but we have 5 sets of traps. When they set traps, they set hundreds of traps.
And we have plenty of food right now.
We have so much food. I feel, actually, do we even want to hunt?
I think like a pacifist run. In general, not hunting.
I mean, not in general, but since we have loads of food.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it would be a good thing to hunt, to stock up on food, but I also feel that it's playing it safe in a way that we may not want to. Or maybe, I mean, look, we're traveling this whole train, and people have food, and then we tell them, go hunt, and they'll be like, why should we go hunt? You have stocked up on food.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a waste of material, basically. Waste of nature. Vegan speed run. That could be an option.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's an option. Okay, but we can wait with hunting. Let's
just eat.
Yeah, let's just eat and we'll journey.
This is a super good space for hunting because there's a river and it's spring and it's perfect. I should also say, by the way, if we cross any rivers during spring, it's dangerous because the waters are flowing very rapidly.
Okay. Yeah.
But let's just eat, and we are 8 people, so we eat 8 food.
Oh shit! It goes fast.
Yeah, so we'll start hunting soon. Is what I'm saying.
I see now. Okay.
Now we try Oh, our rations are dwindling already. We're not gonna set any traps, right?
No.
So then, basically, we can start moving. Where did I put that card? Did I just put it back on top of this?
Here.
Oh, it's there. Okay, cool. I'll make a discard pile. So then let's go somewhere.
We have to avoid the danger that's ahead of us, so maybe we should go northwest.
I think so. That's an unexplored area.
So how do we move?
Well, first we have to see if first of all, it's an unexplored territory, so we'll have to check for dangers. So that's the first thing that happens. And here it says, rattlesnake bites crew member, but only if we're in the mesa, which is out here. So it has no effect.
Phew.
Then we have to see if we get lost. I mean, it's pretty obvious. This is unknown territory.
Well, Yeah, it's like a paradox. Aren't you always lost in unknown territory?
Yeah, but do you continuously end up in the same spot where you started out? That kind of lost,
Go in
I think.
circles. If you have a short-legged horse, maybe you'll just start to go in circles.
Yeah, if the legs are a little lower on one side, so it always turns to the right. Yeah, so how we do that is we roll a die +1 per guide, and we need to have a 4 or more. And we have 2 guides, so
okay. Should be
pretty easy. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
So we make it into the new territory. Yes. So we're already now, finally, we have entered the wilderness. Now we are in no man's land, so to speak.
Yeah.
We have no idea how this country looks.
No.
And now we have to find out what terrain is in that part of the map. So we flip over this card, and then we see we're in the Rockies, and then it tells us that there are alpine forests. So it's a forest area.
Yeah.
So what we now have to do is we have to map what's happening.
Yeah.
So if you want to be our mapper, you draw a green tree in the area where we just went.
As the appointed cartographer.
You are the appointed cartographer.
So do I have to paint something specific or?
Yeah, you have to paint that symbol.
So pine forest.
Yes.
A little bit more artistic here.
Mm-hmm. Do your best.
And to mimic the style of Albert Bierstadt,
the famous cartographer.
the famous cartographer.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's a very woolly forest, I would say.
It's a bush more.
It's more of a bush, yeah. But anyway, we're there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great. Then we have to see if there are any rivers in this area. So we draw another card. Just do this here. And then we see river begins. So there is a river here. So we have to find out where this river leads.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you roll a die to see direction. 2. So what you have to draw now, Albert Bierstein, is you draw a sort of a blue circle in the center of the space, and then a blue line to the edge of the hex. I'll just move our cactus a little bit.
Here.
You put just in the center, in the center of the pine forest, a blue line. That's perfect. That's exactly how it is. So there's a river going in that direction. We know that, meaning that if we continue to explore in that direction, we'll see how that river moves.
Okay. Yeah.
Then we see if we discover anything here. Is there anything interesting in this part of the world? We'll look and say, if there is a river, we discover a waterfall.
Beautiful. And that kind of makes sense in a way.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. So you have to be a very precise cartographer, because now you also have to make a blue X in the square. Yeah. And what that means is that this is actually a danger square. So if we travel into this square in the future, we have to roll on the river danger.
Okay, so no, we're not going to place traps here because we don't want to go back.
We don't want to go back. I think that's a good assumption.
Let's see if I can manage. Does that have to be? I can do
just anywhere in the square, just a little X.
Never going to be able to later, but remember.
Well, it's not really for us to understand. We're going to sell these maps when we get back to town. And then they have to figure it out.
Beautifully hand-drawn maps, artisan maps.
Absolutely. There we go. So we're here. Okay. So now we have to see if we encounter anything in this area. Mm-hmm. So again, we draw a card. So you can see this is really a card drawing game. And then we look down here at the bottom left. And if there's a tent, and there is a tent, it means there's some encounter. And since we're in sort of the middle part of the map, you can see the map is dissected by these lines, these dotted lines.
So we're in the middle.
We're in the middle.
There's a line here and a line here. I don't know if it's how obvious. I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, okay, cool. So let's see what's there. I'm gonna just pick a random encounter and we'll see. Okay, so we find Ute elk.
Wow.
So that's a Ute elk tribe.
Okay.
And they're right here.
And how do you spell Ute?
UTE. I only say Ute because I heard someone else pronounce it like Ute.
Okay, so we hope that's...
So we hope that's correct.
Yeah.
Now, because we've discovered an Indian tribe, and we have a Ute guide with us, which is good. I think that's going to be helpful. Because what we have to do now is we have to choose how do we want to meet these people? What are we going to do? So we have to choose what's called a policy. So now...
okay, interesting.
Now we can hide from them, which would basically like hide in the woods and make them pass.
Behind the waterfall?
Hide behind the waterfall and have them pass without them seeing us. That's one option.
Yeah.
Another option is we can ignore them. Just go about our business and just
pretend like
we just belong here, you know.
Hey guys.
We're just setting a few traps, looking at a few waterfalls. And we can trade with them if we want to trade for something. We can also try to cheat them. That is, say we don't really have something to trade with, so we're gonna try to up the price on whatever we're trading with.
Okay.
That may be for later, I think.
Yeah, we're more desperate.
Then we can seek friendship with them.
That would be nice.
That'd be nice. Or combat.
Go straight to combat. Okay.
Which is, I think that's also for later.
Yeah. Might be more historical. I don't know.
No, I think they were trying really to set up alliances and good relations because these tribes were in the land. So if you're on friendly terms with them, things were just easier, I guess.
Yeah.
I also have to note that we discovered a waterfall somewhere, actually. So I'm just going to do that because that waterfall, I guess it can become some kind of site. And if other people wants to go out and, you know...
We can bring tourists there.
Exactly. We can bring tourists to the waterfall.
So my first assumption, because we have a lot of rifles, I don't know, we have more rifles than we can actually operate.
Yeah.
So would it make sense to sort of see if we can trade something with these guys?
Yeah, I think what we can trade is basically the things that we can get ourselves. So if we want a canoe, or we want some more people, or we were lacking horses, I think the situation right now is that we're not lacking anything.
No.
So I think trading might just be a little bit pointless.
Okay, so you're not on the trading, but so just what was just friendship?
I think why not try to strike up an alliance? I mean, we already have a guide. There's a Ute guide.
Yeah.
So maybe just...
It's a good starting point.
Yeah, it's a good starting point, and then build on that friendship.
We're getting some secret lore here from Ketonic Crystal. Unlike other American tribes who often continue to migrate from place to place, the Utes stayed within the Colorado Rocky Mountain area for hundreds to possibly thousands of years.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's cool.
I think I've also read that the Utes were the only really tribe that stayed in the Rockies because it was a really harsh country.
Yeah.
But they were apparently equipped for it, or they knew their way around.
They knew the country. Or they knew the area.
And we're just going there completely willy-nilly, knowing nothing. We just like have a big skin coat and a beaver hat and hope that'll keep us warm.
Stupid beaver hat.
Stupid beaver hat, yeah. So should we try to seek friendship with them?
For sure.
Cool. Let's see. You just roll a d6, and we have +1 because we're a businessman. So they can see some potential in us.
Of course.
We also have +1 because we have a Ute guide. And then if we want even more pluses, we can offer rifles or horses.
But what do we need to...
We just need to have a 5.
Well, that should be okay.
Yeah, we don't need to offer anything just yet.
No, let's just go...
That's perfect.
Yeah.
So now we have to... So now it means that we're actually friendly with the Utes.
That's great.
So now I get to do a little mark in the Ute tribe, which means that every time we encounter them now, we'll have a +1 mechanically. But it means that we've established some kind of connection with them. And now we're going to roll on the friendship table and see how that goes. And that's just a plain d6, I think. There's no pluses or minus.
I just wonder if you can actually read the dice on screen, because
should we have larger dice?
Do we have larger dice?
Yeah, if you give me a second, I get larger dice.
Yeah. Press for larger dice. I can't really tell because I'm watching on this tiny screen, so might be okay. But it's always nice to have have something that you can actually read. So, guys, I just want to say thank you all for watching. Jeden can actually read the dice. Maybe because you have trained eagle eyes that are accustomed to reading digits off a screen. Maybe you're a hacker or something. Okay, it's a Teritria also. Okay, so no one has a problem with the dice. I invented a false catastrophe.
Anyway,
Anyway, we're getting bigger dice because, of course.
okay. So those should be clear anyway.
Now we have for if you are nearsighted or
Farsighted or medium-sighted.
Yeah, or if you have no sight at all,
We will just tell you what it says.
Okay.
Did you roll? Should you roll again?
I
don't know what you did.
I didn't roll a second.
Okay.
dice.
Okay. Cool.
We're rolling for what?
For on the friendship table, I have no idea what it says, but we'll find out.
Okay, friendship table. Here we go.
That's
4.
a 4. Okay. Let's see here. One of our crew member meets a nice-looking young lady from the tribe,
Wow.
and they begin a relationship.
Ooh, it's going fast. It's moving quite fast here. Maybe that's how it is in the Wild West.
Look here, we discovered this alpine forest with a huge waterfall, and with a waterfall as the background,
Yeah,
and
I
he was
see.
alone on the bank with this woman, and
I see where this is going.
she was explaining about the waterfall, and they
Very
kind of looked
romantic.
into each other's eyes.
It's
and
very romantic.
It's very romantic, and maybe someone is playing the harp or something. So yeah, so let's see here. We have to choose someone who falls in love, and then for every future friendly encounter, we have to roll to see whether they end the relationship or they get married.
Wow.
So we can have a breakup or we can have a marriage.
You hadn't suggested it was because she might have been wearing a beaver hat.
Beaver hats, as I understand, it was actually also quite popular among the Native Americans with the tribes. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So let's see
beaver romance.
if it ends up being a wedding at some point. We're gonna have a permanent friendship with this tribe.
This is pretty good, actually.
This is pretty good, and the spouse may accompany as guide. Okay, so
That would be great, actually.
it would. So I guess that we're gonna have this woman following along. And who do we want to fall in love? Let's just see who we have.
Yeah.
We have these guys laid out here. I mean, it could be the Ute guide, or it could be.
That seems the most obvious, but let's hear the options.
I mean, there's Jim Bridger himself. The head of the group.
He's a businessman. He's not.
Well, then we have 2 soldiers, John Fitzgerald and Hugh Glass. They're soldiers.
Yeah.
Then we have 2 hunters, Jedediah Smith and Louis Vasquez. And then we have the doctor, Dr. Kearney. And then we have these 2 guides, the Halona guide from the Ute tribe and the Kimi from the Shoshone tribe.
What if Kimi from the Shoshone tribe
Yeah.
actually was the one?
Yeah, because maybe he also has a hidden agenda here that he also wants to establish better relationship between the Shoshones and the Utes. And I guess since this is the Utes sort of native area, the Shoshone, he may be a little bit, in new territory. So maybe he wants to make an alliance.
I like that one.
That's great. I know it's super annoying if I have to go out again, but I actually have little heart counters. So shouldn't I put a little heart under our Shoshone guy?
Of course you should.
Sorry for all this moving back and forth, guys.
We need heart counters.
Yes.
I think all games should have a heart counter. Would instantly make any game better. And also, of course, let us know if the audio is working in a satisfactory manner. When I listen to it, it sounds okay. So I hope it is also sounding good for you guys. Okay, here we go. Heart counters. The love marker.
Yes. All right, guys. So we already found love out in the wilderness. I mean, if we are Jim Bridger, we didn't exactly find love.
No.
But one of our guys did. So now the Shoshone can this be seen on the... Yes, it can, right?
So we have a little love marker.
There's a little heart there. So, and we also
Why
gonna...
do you have love markers lying around?
Well, you know...
You're a romantic guy.
I'm a romantic guy, you know. I have love counters. And we're gonna put the spouse here next to.
Wow.
Or not the spouse yet, but she may become a spouse.
We hope so.
So the only thing I think that Jim is a little bit annoyed about now, there's another mouth to feed.
Well, it's all in the name of love, so I think we should be... Of course, Jim is a businessman, so maybe he doesn't care so much about it, but still.
I think actually Jim sees it as a bit of a problem. I think he's a little bit annoyed.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, the option is to lose the guy, because then he stays behind with the tribe.
But if she in the future can become another guide for us, that would probably be great.
Yeah, if they get married, she will. And that happens if we encounter another Ute tribe. We're going to try to remember all these things, and we may not remember all these things, but you can please remind us in the chat, or otherwise we'll just make it up as we go along.
Yeah.
So this is pretty eventful.
Already,
what a start.
We've moved to one undiscovered tile, and we've already experienced so much.
This is great.
Oh.
So I should say here, just as an aside, that this game is actually based on a game from 1978 called Source of the Nile, which is, I think...
Source of the Nile.
Source of the Nile. And in modern day terms, it's a little bit more problematic, because it's sort of white explorers moving into the empty vasts of Africa and exploring Africa.
Not completely unlike what's going on here.
Not completely unlike. And it's a great game. It's the same game system this year, actually. Just, of course, fitted to the scenery and the theme. But it's based on that. So yeah, so if you like this game, you should check out Source of the Nile as well. From 1978. It's one of the old goodies.
Cool.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll stream it one day.
Tatsevich says, this is obviously a deep simulation. Wow. Yes, I'm surprised so much is going on, actually. I didn't know it would be this deep.
No. I'm happily surprised.
Beaver Hunter / Dwarf Fortress.
Yeah, okay, it's not exactly Dwarf Fortress.
/ Barbarian Prince / Source of the Nile.
Source of the Nile.
Yeah.
I'm just checking here what we need to do. That was the encounter. We're now friendly with the Ute tribe. And then we have to draw to see if they move, if the tribe moves. So I'm going to draw another card, and we're going to look down at the bottom. If there was something here on the card, I don't know if you have any chance to see it. This is what the cards look like. If there was some information down here that they moved, they would move, but they don't. Also, I guess, I mean, we have some ceremony, I guess, to say, they have to say goodbye to this young woman from the tribe who's now traveling with these crazy mountain men, beaver hunters.
Smelly.
Yeah, it really makes sense that he didn't fall in love with any of the fur trappers.
Yeah, because they didn't take the chance to bathe in the waterfall.
No, I think that would have been more sort of more of a tactical romantic relationship, you know. So this is cool. So we're actually now trying to form connections between the Ute and Shoshone tribe.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like this.
Okay, so
should we eat or should we hunt before we eat? We have a lot of mouths to feed.
Well, on the other hand, we know that the waterfall makes it a dangerous tile.
But it's still good for hunting because there's a river. So you can say that if we go back into this territory, it's going to be dangerous. But right now, we just discovered it.
Can we stay here and hunt and just stay?
We can. Yeah. But I guess since it's a dangerous area, if we stay put, there may also be a danger.
Okay. So if we lose, we have around 20 food or so?
Yeah, I think we started with 50.
Okay.
So we have 40. I mean, we can eat and go on and hunt later, or we can...
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's do that.
The map is getting dirtier and dirtier from all the incense, but I think it's very historically correct.
Absolutely. We're dirtying the map of the Rockies. So here's 9 rations, because now we also have the Shoshone's partner to feed.
Yeah.
So they go here. And And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's venture on.
So where do we want to
Where are we going to go? I mean, there is that river. And the thing is, because it's spring, it's dangerous to cross rivers.
Okay.
Wondering if hunting chances change. They do, Jeden. And that's also why we should be hunting here in spring when it's nice and easy to hunt. But, you know, we have so much food and we kind of... I don't really think we like hunting.
I see where this is going. Fuck.
Yeah, it's almost like a loaded question. Does Jeden know this game?
Okay, let's quickly move on.
Let's quickly move on. So what I was trying to say is that perhaps we should... I mean, either we should just... Oh, one thing... No, that's cool. Either we should go west and try to cross the Arkansas River.
Yeah.
It will be dangerous because it's spring. Or we should try to make our way around it. And one thing I'm curious about is trying to get to one of these Sasquatch sightings.
Yeah. We're quite a far away from any of them. Well, there is one close by.
There's one
in the middle
relative,
of the map.
yeah, and it's closer if we head straight for it. But I don't know if we dare cross the Arkansas River.
Well, we are on horses, and we have a full crew, and we've just eaten, and why not?
Yeah, and we're not here to be safe, really, are we?
No.
We're here to discover and have experiences.
Exactly. Let's do it.
Let's head for the Arkansas River.
Yeah. So we go west.
We go west. So we're traveling into uncharted territory again. All we know is that there's a river, so we have to see if there's a danger.
Do we travel first, or do we first?
We do the danger first, I think.
Okay,
actually,
yeah.
I think I did a mistake in the beginning.
Okay.
Let's see. This only applies in desert, so
great.
no big thing. So we have to see if we get lost.
Yeah.
And that's just one die plus our 2 guides. So that's a 6. That's perfect.
We don't get lost.
We don't get lost. So what kind of environment is here at the Arkansas River?
Yeah.
There's another alpine.
Okay.
So you need to draw another tree.
And that's on the...
That's on the river tile there. River tile. There's a beautiful tree. Then let's... Oh, and there's already a river. I think actually there's something about you having to check for rivers and river spaces, but I think that gets too fiddly for us.
Okay.
So we're just not going to check for rivers.
Fair enough.
Let's see if we discover something. Last time we discovered a waterfall, and I think I did note it down. That's great. And I'll just note down that, yeah, I think we show tourists to waterfalls actually.
Yeah.
If we ever find a tourist. Then we check to see if there's a discovery and if we're in plains, brush, or mesa, but we're not. So we don't really discover anything here. But maybe we'll have an encounter.
Yeah.
So we draw this one and we see if there's encounter. There's no encounter down there, so we don't really encounter anything. And then we have to see if other encounters on the map move. So if this Ute tribe we discovered last time, if it's gonna move anywhere. We just draw another card, and they don't move either. They just stay put.
Okay.
They're very settled. I mean, I guess it's spring in the mountains. It's a nice season.
And they found a waterfall and everything. Oh,
they settle right down by a waterfall. So
I have bad news. The alarm's gone off.
Oh, is it summer?
It's summer already.
Oh God, that was quick. But that actually means that it's gonna be less dangerous to cross the river.
That's great.
So it's perfect.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, then we're gonna flip over this. Everybody, you can see this was spring, and now it's not gonna be fall, but it's gonna be summer. So let's see here what happens in summer. Beginning of summer, the tribes that are not in adobe settlements, that are not in houses, they move D6 further east, but they don't leave the Rockies area. So that basically means that the Ute tribe moves as far east as it can go, which is just 1 square. They move over here. That's cool. Then when we move, if we make moves where we only spend 2 movement points, that is basically if we move into known territory, we don't have to check for dangers.
Just a reminder, the Grizzly Man ended in summer. Beware.
Yeah, grizzlies, they are a thing. But luckily we haven't encountered any yet.
Grizzlies don't hang around rivers, right?
No. No. Why would they? That's why we're crossing the river. Hunting and trapping is terrible in the desert in summertime. That makes sense.
Are we in the desert now?
No, it's far.
Oh, it's far east.
And the
far
mesa is not pretty good either. But we're in the Rockies, so summer is actually fine for hunting.
Okay, fine.
So it's not easier like it was in the spring. So already now we shouldn't start thinking about hunting maybe. Yeah. But now we're here anyway. So where were we when the season changed? We were just about to check. No, we didn't have an encounter and nothing happened.
Yeah.
And so we actually had to eat. So
are we already at eating? We discovered there was a pine forest.
Yeah, and then we didn't have an encounter, and then summer came and the Ute tribe moved further east. And one thing we might consider here is, since we're at a river right now, it makes hunting easier. And if you look further west where we're headed, I mean, we may discover rivers, but right now we don't know if there are any rivers.
No.
So maybe
this might be the last river.
This might be the last river. So should we perhaps exploit that chance to add some food to our dwindling supplies?
I see what you're implying here.
I know you don't like hunting. You like to sit around the bonfire.
I want to do the vegan speed run.
Yeah.
We just eat pine leaves and
yeah, but
and
the
chew
vegan
on our beaver hats and
the vegan speed run ends very quickly. But yeah.
Okay, we hunt. We hunt.
Also, we have to try and figure out how it works. So hunting, how does that work? You roll a d6 and we get +1 per hunter that has a rifle. And we have 2 hunters and we have loads of rifles. So it's not a problem. Then we get a +1 for a river. So this is already a total of +3. And we just need to get 5 or more. Then we find stuff.
So we have +3.
Yeah.
So 2 and above.
Yeah, but the higher you roll, the more we find.
1 dice.
Yeah. Ooh, what's that?
7?
8 or something?
Oh, 8, yeah.
8. So we find 8 food, and we're 9 people. So it means that we only have to eat 1 people from our rations.
But so I see. Actually, it's actually not going the right way.
I think we have to hunt all the time. Because
I think so too.
How about setting? Can we set a trap? Let me just see if that costs something. And we can actually set a trap for free, because we also need to get fur for the beaver hats.
Oh yeah.
So we should set a beaver trap.
Yeah, but then we have to come back to this tile.
Yeah, but I mean, if anywhere we set it, we'll have to come back. And I think that near rivers, those are the good traps.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we have 5 traps. We might as well set one.
Yeah.
So we're gonna set a beaver trap. It looks like this. I don't know if it's focusing.
I'll try it.
Yeah, there we have it. This is the beaver trap. It's one of those. It looks like one of those. If you put your foot in there, it's just gonna chop off right at the angles. So this is what we do to beavers.
Yeah. Poor beaver.
Sorry, beavers. Let's see. I'll put it right here. Oh, this is perfect. I love this. So we have a beaver trap right at the Arkansas River. And we've eaten all our food, and yeah, that's basically it. It's summer. It's hot.
Yeah.
In the mountains. It's a great season. Do you think we'll make it out of the Rockies before fall and winter?
Well, I've set the timer now.
Okay, you set it again.
For the next season.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
Let's see.
I think right now, to be honest, we're not moving very fast.
We're not moving super fast.
I don't want to be too critical of our achievements, but I'm just saying it's not going super fast.
I think... No, I mean, I just love that we have this loving couple smooching by the Arkansas River.
Beautiful. It's very beautiful.
It's really great. I love it. Okay, let's press on.
Yeah, let's do it. We go west, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means that we're crossing the river. But it's not spring, so it's not dangerous to cross.
But right now we are on the tile of the river.
Yeah, so you can see some tiles have X's on them. You can see that one has an X and... Oh, shit. This one has an X as well. That means it is dangerous to cross. Regardless of season. Okay. So let's try to do this. I don't know what the correct order is here, but we'll just go about it.
We'll just...
Let's see if we get lost first. No, first we have to check for danger, because that's the first thing you do. It's up in the top. It applies if we're in the mountains, but we're in Alpine. So no danger. Then we roll to get lost, and that's 1 die plus 2 for our 2 guides. And we need to get a 4. Oh.
Nope.
Damn it.
Nope.
So that basically means that we're not moving anywhere.
But maybe there's a saving grace here, because we just put a trap.
Ooh, we can check our traps.
We can check our traps.
This is so brilliant. Yeah, so we're just staying put.
Yeah.
And let's try to see if we can get some beaver first.
Yeah.
But first...
True trappers.
True trappers. First, we still have to check if there is if there's encounter movement. So if the Ute tribe moves. You move that, and here it says all 1 to 4 strength encounters move. And this is a strength 2. I think they're graded, I think from 1 to 10. And I think when you're 2, it's like a smaller group of people. But if you get up in higher numbers and maybe several hundred people, and if you get up in the really big numbers, it's like entire settlements.
Okay.
Almost like villages or something existing there. But they move. So to move, first you roll a die to direction, and then you roll a die for how many spaces in that direction.
2.
Yeah.
So they're moving northeast.
Yeah, but I can see they're only moving 1 space because they'll not leave the Rockies.
Okay, so
it doesn't really matter. They just move over here. They are kind of curious. But do you think that we sort of pique their curiosity?
I hope in a good way.
But I mean, because I would not recommend them to go further east. I know they're not goner, but they're at the edge of the Rockies looking down into the sort of settled east.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a little bit...
Let's check the traps instead.
Yes, let's do that.
It's a die, and there's a +1 if there's a river entry and exit. There is not. This is just continuous river. So actually it wasn't as good as I said. Lake, spring, encounters, nothing. Is there nothing for hunters here? Don't hunters get any bonuses to hunt?
Good old river bonus.
Because we're not hunting, we're just checking traps.
Yeah.
So it's just a d6 roll.
Okay.
Unmodified.
1.
Oh, that sounds terrible. Yeah.
1 beaver.
No beavers.
No beavers. Oh my
We've
God.
set those traps so poorly.
We had one job,
You can't even make like the shade for a hat out of what we caught today.
Oh no. Okay, that's horrible.
No, that's pretty horrible.
I thought it was genius that we had to stay put actually, but it turned out to be not so.
It turned out perhaps also because we just spent a lot of time getting lost, really.
Yeah.
So, and there was nothing in the traps when we came back. So completely wasted first day of summer.
Waste of food also.
Oh, because we're eating now.
Yeah.
Should we hunt?
Yeah, we have to hunt, definitely.
Okay. A die +3 was what we ended at, I think. What's that?
4.
That's 7 total, and we're 9 people, so it's 2 food.
This is not going the way it's supposed to.
I think we're learning something about hunting. I had this idea that if we hunted, it would add to our supplies, but hunting basically means trying to stay...
We're just sustaining.
Yeah. So
Okay,
we should probably have hunted in spring.
We should just hunt all the time.
We should just hunt all the time. Yeah.
Hunting all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Further west, we can try again. Try not to get lost this time.
Yeah, we go further west.
Let's see if there's any dangers showing up. No. So, yeah, check to see if you get lost. 1 die +2, you need a 4. There you have it.
+2.
We're in the clear.
Okay. Oh, I moved the big marker.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you get too soon.
Oh, actually, they moved, so the Bigfoot markers also have to move.
Yeah.
So roll a direction, and then they all move in 1 space in that direction.
6.
They all move... Oh, Jesus, they're moving away from us. Yeah, okay. There you have them. Jesus. Okay. So let's see what terrain is here.
Yeah.
Where we enter. And this time it's a mountain.
Okay.
This opens up some interesting possibilities, but we'll come to that.
Yeah.
So if you'll draw a mountain in the space, it's with a black marker.
So there's a river and a mountain.
No, just a mountain.
It's a new one.
There may also be a river, but first we find out
Is the beaver trap gone now?
No, we can. Yeah, I guess it's gone. We checked it. I guess it's gone. It's fair. We didn't set it again.
It would be cruel to leave the traps behind.
But that's really what you do, right? And then when you're out of, I don't know. I don't actually think you can eat the beavers.
So
no,
they're not adding to our food supply.
No, but we can trade beavers. So we can trade the fur, and when we get back to if we get back to the city without beavers, you know, we're not gonna help the beaver hat industry, which is ultimately what we're in it for.
Okay, so a mountain.
Let's do a mountain. What again was that big red one? Oh, that was if we moved into that space, someone from the tribe would leave us. And then let's see if there's a river in that space. There's not. That's cool.
Fashion before food.
Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is.
I'm thinking maybe let's check this area.
Yeah.
And then maybe we should take a small.
And let's just take a small break.
A small
Summer
break.
Yeah, that's cool. So let's check this area. There's no river. Let's see if we discover anything in the area.
Mm-hmm.
If we're in mountains, we are in mountains.
Yes.
We find a unique red rock formation.
Wow, that's nice.
That's pretty cool. I'll write that down. We now discovered a waterfall, and we discovered a unique red rock formation. So again, this is all for tourists. Should we? Do you think we should mark?
Do we have a red?
We actually do have a red. So if we mark the spaces where there are tourist attractions.
Where is the red one?
It's here.
Okay.
So if you mark this space and also the one with the waterfall.
Waterfall.
It was over here.
Rocks.
Yeah, just put a red spot, because if you just put a red spot in those spaces, then we know that those are. I mean, if we fail at fur trapping, we can start making it as tourist guides, because we already have 2 tourist sites. I think there are minor sites. I'm not even sure tourists are super interested in them, but you know.
Tatsuvidra asked if we can examine the ominous rocks that we just discovered.
Yeah, well, I don't know. They're just red, and they're just sitting there, and they're in a beautiful formation. We have no idea what it means. Perhaps we suspect, is there some kind of man-made involvement here? Like, are they shaped by human hands, or are they shaped by nature? But that's for the tourists and the scientists to find out. But we're going to bring them.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're not going to spoil the country. We're not going to bring civilization here.
Oh, not at all.
Just, you know, earn a few bucks by having someone come and look at them. And, you know, it's completely harmless. We look at this. We're just spoiling the world. I have this feeling that we're discovering the world from our perspective, but we're also just spoiling it.
This is truly the end of as much as it is the beginning of civilization. This is also the end of civilization.
It is. This is right before it gets really bad.
Yeah. So you saw it here first, guys.
Let's see.
This is the way the world ends.
Let's see if we have an encounter at the Red Rock Formation.
Yeah. It's True Detective Season 5. Neither man nor nature made this.
Yes,
possibly.
There you go. There are no encounters here.
Okay.
So does the Ute encounter move? And it does. So you have to roll to see which direction the Ute encounter moves in.
Ooh.
Where's that?
They can't move.
No, they can't move. And then you have to roll for the Sasquatch.
Okay. 3.
Oh, great. Back east. One space. They're doing a little dance. But you know, these are not, we don't know if these are Sasquatch. No. These are sightings. Yeah. So these are reports that, I don't know how we get them in.
The report seems to change a lot.
It seems to change a lot. Maybe it was there, and it's kind of this unexplored territory anyway.
Yeah.
It's just some guy putting a finger on an empty map saying, yeah, around there. That's where it is.
And when do we check if our romantic couple are getting married?
I think it was if we encounter the Ute tribe again, right?
Okay.
Every future friendly encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So if we meet anyone from the Ute tribe again, or any friendly encounter. So if we have basically a positive atmosphere.
Yeah.
If we can create a positive atmosphere, it may turn into a marriage.
Uh-huh.
And they may also break up, because they may find other partners to find out. she may kind of tire of this.
And also, she sees that he's not getting any food. He's not really
He's
providing.
pretending to be a fur trapper. He just put up like 100 fur traps around the Arkansas River, the arguably best place to find beavers, and there was nothing. Jim Bridger is a terrible fur trapper.
So what do you say you do for a living? Okay, we're starting off rocky. No pun intended.
No pun intended. Should we?
Okay.
I know there's no river, but should we just go hunting anyway? Because otherwise we're gonna starve.
Of course we have to hunt. But the beaver traps, if they don't provide food, we can do it anyway. But I don't know.
I don't think we're going back into mountains, are we?
We're not. And also, there are no beavers in the mountains.
No, I haven't heard about beavers in mountains.
So let's.
There are grizzly bears in mountains, but we don't have traps for those.
Let's hunt.
Let's hunt. So that's a die plus 1 per hunter with rifle. So that's plus 2. A 4 is nothing.
What?
So we have to eat 9 food.
Oh,
Did I say that we're playing with the cannibalism expansion?
which may come in handy.
Which may come in handy. So this is 6. This is terrible, honest.
Oh no.
Oh Jesus. So 9 food gone. Now, one thing before we go on a break is that we can actually, because we're in a mountain, we can do one or two things.
Okay.
Because we discovered a mountain.
Yeah.
We can try to search for a mountain pass. If we find a mountain pass, it means that it'll only cost 1 movement point to enter this space in the future, which would make it a good place to set up a trap, perhaps. I don't know. The other thing we can do is we can try to climb to the top of the mountain. And if we do that, we'll be able to scout all the empty territory around it from here, so we know which kind of territory is in which direction.
Does it matter what kind of territory we are moving into?
I guess we prefer rivers where we can set traps, for example. And I think encounters, dangers. There may be more dangers in mountains.
Do we also discover encounters if we go up there?
No.
Okay.
I mean, we still have to check for, or we already checked for encounters. We don't. It just means that we can see what terrain is in those spaces. So either we try to find a pass, so it's easier to pass through, or we try to scout the area. What do you think?
We could. Since we have the option,
Yeah.
it would be fun to try to scout the area.
And to see what's around the mountain.
Yeah.
Let's try to do that. Let's do a mountain climb. I'm sure that's not dangerous. Let's see, what do you do? We have 2 guides, so it's a die roll plus 2. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 5. It's a success.
Great.
So we actually get to scout everything. So
actually having these guys, they help a lot.
it's super. Yeah, we don't. I mean, we want them to get married and for her to continue with us.
We want more guys.
We don't want breakups.
No. Okay, so we actually...
We just scout everything now.
Yeah.
So first, the Arkansas River space up there. Let's see what terrain is that. It's an alpine forest. So go ahead and do a forest.
Okay, right.
Yeah. And I'll just see if you also have to do a river there. You do.
There's a river.
Oh, sorry. There's a river already. And then we take the next territory to the left of the alpine forest. There's another alpine forest. There's a lot of forest around here. But I think... grizzly bears, do they live in forests?
No. Don't worry. They don't live near rivers. They don't live near forests. It's fine.
And mountains are completely safe, right?
Yeah, completely.
Okay. And there's another... Oh, river begins over there.
Here?
No, in the where you just drew the tree. So you do a dot in the center, and then I can just roll a die to see where you extend the river. So you extend the river to the east, just to the edge of the space. Cool. And then we take the next, and it's a mountain.
Okay.
And I check to see if there's a river. There's no river. And then the last one is another mountain. Okay, so see, this is pretty good to know, actually.
Here, right?
Yeah. And there's no river. So basically what we're seeing is that... Oh, sorry, it was that one down there.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I'll erase that in the break.
Okay.
So you can see the mountains, they continue around there. And then there is alpine and river. So that actually looks like perhaps a pretty nice place to move.
Yeah. Jim Bridger is leading this expedition.
Yeah.
And we kind of, in a way, we're playing Jim Bridger, you could say.
I think actually one of the things that I was thinking about Jim Bridger is that we travel into this country to explore it, but I also think that we're trying to explore who Jim Bridger is.
Yeah.
And who is Jim Bridger? He's not a successful fur trapper.
That's for sure. We've already established that. He doesn't actually know what he's doing.
So where did he get $1,100 to equip this expedition?
You know, I think there are certain type of person, certain character, that is like has fantastical sense of their own abilities.
Right.
Which maybe some would say exaggerated sense of self-ability. And I think Jim is one of those guys. He actually doesn't know his own limitations, but he's unafraid. Some would maybe put him on some sort of a spectrum of sociopath or.
Do you think he inherited the money, or do you think he was gambling in St. Louis and winning a lot of money?
You know, I would of course say that. In my experience, he inherited the money.
Okay, he inherited the money. That's cool. So basically, he's sort of a rich kid, and he just equipped this expedition to get away. Do you think he has a longing to discover something spectacular? That's why he's going for this Sasquatch.
I think he's going for glory.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to benefit the world at large.
No.
He just want to benefit his own ego and the story about himself. He wants to live forever, basically.
Yeah. But we just discovered that he's terrible at setting traps, so he's probably not going to earn a lot of money. So what he can do is probably discover something spectacular and then try to sell that information to people back in town.
Yeah.
If he survives.
If he survives.
Back in town. I don't know.
So, larger-than-life character, perhaps to his own detriment.
Yeah. I would say so.
But as you said, we're on the top of the mountain. We have scouted. It was not easy, but we made it to the top of the mountain.
And we sort of meticulously drew this map of what's around us. And what I'm seeing is that to the northwest, there is a forest with a river. And I think that sounds more hospitable than the mountains. Also, you have to set your timer because we got 10 minutes left of summer.
I forgot the timer.
So if you just set it at 10, then we'll see how far we progress this summer.
Let's see here. If I can manipulate this device in a satisfactory manner.
So because, I mean, fall is coming, winter is coming. I'm sure it doesn't get too cold in the Rockies in winter.
In the mountains.
No, it's probably cool. But so let's head for the forest.
For sure. Let's head for the forest. We know we can hunt there. We can set traps there.
Yeah.
We have options there.
And, so let's just move down here. It means that we don't get lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we already know the terrain.
So we just go in there willy-nilly. We can't get lost. We don't have to do a danger, actually. We don't have to check for danger because we know the terrain and we're not moving too fast. So what we need to check for, though, is if we have an encounter.
Yeah.
Does anybody else live down in this forest or roam this forest? Let's see. No one is there. Okay. It's just empty terrain. Okay. Let me just check because there's a shuffle card when we need to shuffle this deck, and I just see if I overlooked it. But I do not appear to have overlooked the shuffle card, which is good. Okay, cool. So we're down there. So and nothing really happens, but we can actually set a trap down here and try to, set better traps. Perhaps we can ask the guides to help us set beaver traps.
Because obviously Jim doesn't know how to do it.
Jim doesn't know how to do it. So do you think that, I guess the Shoshone and his fiancée, they're off at the river, just enjoying themselves. And this UT guide, perhaps we just ask the UT guide, hey,
please,
please, we have traps. We have no knowledge of how they really work. Just don't get your, hand cut off in them, but please.
But also, we're trying to hide the fact that we don't know how to set traps.
Yeah. So we're just
saying like casually, hey, I don't have time. Can you please do it?
We have to make a fire. Can you please set the traps? So let's hope this Ute guy is better at setting traps than we were.
Yeah.
So here they are anyway. Those are the traps. Okay. And now comes again the time where, I mean, we're not running low on rations.
Wait, I think we forgot to eat rations the last time.
We forgot to remove 9 rations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's horrible, but it's true.
I think it's true. Yeah, so we actually ate those rations. Jesus. Yeah, okay. So I will rephrase. We are running low on supplies.
Extremely low.
Let's please do some successful hunting. Again, hunting right now. There's a river, right? So we'll actually have +3 because we have 2 guides and a river. I mean, this can't possibly go wrong.
Yeah.
So do a hunt roll and let's see what happens.
Okay.
+3.
Ooh.
8. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty
so
good.
we found 8 food and we're 9 people. So we just have to eat one of our rations.
So one thing that I'm discovering is that we definitely need to hunt every turn. There's no reason not to hunt.
I mean, not hunting the first 2 turns.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
That was bravado, and
That was Jim being full of himself.
it's gonna bite us. It's gonna
Jim,
bite us.
When will you learn, Jim?
When will you ever learn? So let's see if the Ute camp over there at the east, if they move.
Yeah.
They nearest encounter moves to Hicks policy or table row. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I think it actually means that they move into our space because we have to do a policy for them. Oh, there's no encounter. Oh, only if we're in the mountains. So there are. So what happens is
We're not in the mountains.
Yeah, so that means the encounter happens.
Ah, okay.
So if I interpret this correctly, the Ute tribe appears again.
Okay.
Which is very interesting.
Could be good.
It could be very good. So what happened? There's several things that happen now. Again, we have to decide how we want to deal with the Ute tribe. We met them before. We're on friendly terms.
Yeah.
And
Some of our best friends.
Some of our best friends, you know. And there's also the chance that true romance happens.
I like that one.
So the options we have again is we can hide from them, which we obviously don't want to do. We can ignore them. We don't want to do that. We don't want to fight them.
No.
We don't want to cheat them. But no, we don't want to cheat them. I don't. But one thing I was thinking about is that since we're running low on supplies, would it be a good idea to trade with them and perhaps give them some rifles or some horses and get some food?
We still have more rifles than we're using.
Yeah, we have 10 rifles. We're using like 1 or 2.
Yeah, so for sure.
So should we try to do a trade roll?
Yeah, good idea.
And we're friendly with this tribe, so it means that we get a +1 to the roll.
Let's check it out. Nope.
This is 6. That's pretty good. So that means that we can trade.
Great.
And trading means that we can give them stuff and get stuff back. And let's just see what they can supply us with. So a rifle, for example, is worth 10 rations.
Ooh.
And a horse is worth 50 rations.
What? Can we spare a horse?
I mean, I think... I don't know. I mean, if we suddenly have less horses than men, then we start traveling slowly. But, I mean, still, a rifle is 10 rations. So we can certainly spare a rifle or 2, right?
It means 2 more rounds of survival.
Yeah.
Could be good.
So should we...
2 rifles?
Should we trade a couple of rifles?
We might as well do 2 or 3.
Yeah, why not? How many?
2 or 3.
Is that 2 I'm hearing or 3 I'm hearing? That's because 2 is still 20 rations.
Well, let's do 2.
Let's do 2. Okay. We're gonna give the UT tribe that we're very friendly with a couple of rifles. Tell them because they're bad men coming from the east. You need rifles, guys.
Yeah.
You need shooting irons.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give them that, and then we're gonna get 20 rations.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty good.
So that's 10. Okay. So it seems that trading is really powerful. It's really important to trade. But then again, you don't have the option to trade always, of course. Because
No, that's also what I'm thinking. That's why I wanted to trade 2 rifles, just in case it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I like that idea. So here's a lot of food for us. And then, let's see. I mean, the Ute tribe shows up. They pitch their tents.
Yeah.
We have a nice evening, sitting around the fire.
Changing stories.
They
They tell us what they discovered in the east.
Perhaps we're tasting some Ute homebrew.
Yes, very strong, probably.
Perhaps we introduce them to card games.
Yeah.
Show them how to play cards. Perhaps they like it, perhaps they don't. But let's see.
And also, what I'm wondering, what about the romantic couple? Wasn't that a trigger there?
That's exactly what's happening now. So what happens is that we have to roll a die.
Yep.
If you roll
romantic die.
a romantic die, and if you roll a 1, they split up.
No.
Perhaps we just, the card game.
Do we get any bonuses on our roll?
Not as I can see, no. But if you get a 5 or a 6, you have a wedding. Yeah.
So I need to roll a 5 or a 6. Basically.
That would be super cool. Then they get married.
Okay. Crossing fingers here for love.
Yes. So there's a love marriage.
Wow.
And that means that we actually now have these guys are connected, and she becomes a guide for us.
Genius.
So now we have 3 guides, which means hunting is much, much easier with 3 guides. So, how beautiful. So basically, at this meeting with the tribe, we have a marriage ceremony.
Let's toast for the marriage.
It's toast for the marriage. I don't know how these Native American marriage ceremonies are like, but I'm sure there's something about jumping over fires and walking in circles and singing songs and dancing.
Drum rituals.
Perhaps tomorrow we're going to be a little bit low after all the drinking and the card play, but
we'll be invigorated. Oh.
Is it fall?
The marriage has opened the gates to fall.
Okay, so it's gonna be. It was a late summer marriage.
Yeah, it's very poetic actually.
Yeah, so cool. So that means that we're actually going straight into fall. Let's see what happens in fall. So this, guys, is fall. It's this beautiful red colors. And
sun is setting.
The sun is setting. Because what comes after fall? Do you remember? What season is after fall?
Don't want to think about it.
This is, yeah, and the Rocky Mountains in the winter.
Rocky Mountains in winter should be no problem.
Yeah, I think so. We actually don't have beaver skin.
We don't have beaver skin.
But we may have an old fur coat or something. The Utes are probably saying, "Get out of the mountains, get out of the Rockies." Because what happens now is that the Ute tribe move 1d6 spaces west.
Okay. 2.
So
northeast.
They're going for the plains or the mesa.
And we have our prize crew is joining us. Hey guys, I'm gonna catch up. We have Craig from Abandoned Lighthouse Game joining us.
Hey Craig, good to have you on stream.
Yeah, welcome.
So Craig is a new friend of ours.
Yeah.
Who graciously actually sent us a new board game that arrived just in a couple of days.
Which we will be checking out at some point.
We will be checking it out, and maybe we'll do an April stream of Devoured. Let's see. Mm-hmm. So, Devoured Fallen Colossus, it's called.
Yeah.
It sounds like something for us.
Definitely. Looks cool.
It looks cool. It looks super cool. So, great to have you around, Craig. The Ute tribe has moved further west, and it's almost as if they're beckoning us, come with us. But we don't travel as far as quickly.
Aren't they going northeast on a 2?
They always move directly west at the start of fall. So you just roll for how many spaces they traveled west, actually. And let's see if there are any special rules here. When we move, we have to roll a die. If we roll a 6, it's snowing, and we move slower. We cannot move into unexplored hexes. Hunting, though, is better in the fall. So there's a +1 to hunting.
Great.
And trapping. So also... But, yeah, I don't see us going back to that beaver trap right now.
No.
Unless, of course, we get lost or it starts snowing.
Yeah. But did we already set traps in this marker?
We did set traps there, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
By the river. So we had the guide set traps for us.
So either we stay to check the traps,
or we travel. But I mean, what we could also do is that we could try to travel, and then if we fail,
then we have
a
backup.
good opportunity to check the traps, right?
I just also want to say that it's very beautiful that we have this great relationship with the UT tribe.
Yeah.
And we have two of them on board.
And we actually have a Ute woman marrying a Shoshone man.
Yeah.
So I think that
perhaps controversial. I don't know.
But I think maybe that alliance will strengthen the bond between the Ute and Shoshone tribes. So I think the Ute tribe is really happy that she fell for the Shoshone guide. I hope they didn't force her. No, because I mean she was traveling with us.
She saw how bad we were at laying traps. She saw that
Yeah.
She knew all the our discrepancies.
And she's still here.
Yeah, she's still here along for the ride.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Show some commitment.
So this was fall came. We still haven't. Did we hunt?
We didn't hunt.
No. So should we just try to hunt?
Yeah.
We have +1 because it's the fall.
And we don't have plus more.
And we have 2 hunters with rifles.
Yeah.
And we're at a river. We have +4. This is an excellent space to hunt.
5.
A natural 1 is always a fail. So I think because
my God, Jim, what are you doing?
I think because the seasons changed, we send our hunters out to hunt, but they just all the animals were hiding underground and burying into their tunnels. And
but I just feel like Jim is maybe not up for the task here. He's failing his crew time and time again.
He's giving them the wrong orders. He says like, just go hunt, and they don't even know what they're hunting for.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh well, I'm sure there is some deer or elk or something, and you'll find it easily. And then he sent them off in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And probably the Shoshone guy could have given him some good advice, but he's busy getting married. And
And Jim doesn't want to listen. He knows best.
I don't think Jim takes advice necessarily from these guides. I think he just see them sort of as a utilitarian thing, something that can help him get further.
Jim needs to go. Jim is the leader of the crew. We can't just fire him.
We are Jim. Sorry.
We are Jim.
We are just
unfortunately.
And
he's more of a businessman.
What does Tatsavitra say?
Tatsavitra, I think, is going into cardiac arrest as we speak. It's unfortunate, but I hope he recovers soon and rejoins the chat. Yeah, Enterprise crew, that's cool. Jim is the leader of the expedition, and he is more of a businessman than he is a hunter.
Yeah,
it appears.
It appears, and he's set up this whole thing, and he kind of just wants the crew to work.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the crew needs a strong leader who can direct them, and Jim is apparently just directing them in all sorts of crazy, strange directions.
But I think Jim is a strong leader. His leadership just sucks.
Yeah, or he's very good at leading. Perhaps he's good in the city because he knows the ways of the city.
Yeah.
But out here in the wilderness, he's kind of lost. He's just a slick boy, slick rich kid with money, and he's failing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, but hopefully he'll get his wits about him.
This is also the story about Jim and about Jim's self-discovery.
Yeah.
So let's see if he finds himself out there in the wilderness.
But Prize Crew, let's give Jim a chance. He may adapt.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Let's not judge Jim too harshly right now.
No.
Did you set a timer for when winter comes? I mean, not that I'm particularly excited about winter, but
that's true. Let's just double check here. No, I didn't. Okay, here goes the timer for
another half hour, and then it's winter.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's. Oh, no, nothing. Let's head west.
Yeah,
that's the only way to go, right? We don't want to go into the mountains.
Just to give a recap here, we're getting quite close to the Sasquatch encounter.
Yeah, we are. As long as they don't move further west, we are.
Yeah.
We should catch them in winter, which is probably a really good time to make contact with Bigfoot. The boss of the woods.
The boss of the woods. Okay, so
let's move. Yeah. So first we check to see if there's a danger. And are we in Alpine? We are in Alpine.
Alpine.
That's the tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in Alpine. Okay. Ooh. It seems that Mother Bear has found us.
Ooh.
And she attacks.
Oh no.
And we have to roll for each member of the crew.
Oh, that's a lot of rolls.
On a 1 to 3, they are killed.
This is not gonna go well.
On a 6, the bear is killed.
Okay.
We have +1 if it's a hunter or soldier.
Okay.
And if we kill the bear, at least we don't have to hunt. We can just eat it.
Do we get... Well, that's good. Do we get to choose who goes first?
They all have to fight the bear.
But yeah, but I mean, if a hunter or soldier goes first...
Yeah, but actually we have to roll for everybody. Even if the first person kills the bear, everyone has to roll because everyone gets attacked.
I see.
So we just need to have at least 1 kill.
Okay.
So we can just start here. And I mean, we all have rifles actually. So he just has Jim has a +1. So let's see if this is the end of Jim.
Right. Put Jim up front.
That's what's happening.
That's what's happening. So I really hope Jim survives.
Come on, Jim.
So you can say what you will about Jim, but you know, we need him for this.
We don't wish for anyone to be mauled by a grizzly bear. Even if it's a Jim. He survives. He doesn't kill the bear, but he survives.
Okay.
Then the next guy, he's a soldier.
Just
so
+1?
Yeah, and +1 also because he has a rifle. So he's a +2.
Okay. 6?
He kills the bear.
Wow.
That's awesome. But we still have to check if all the other guys are killed.
Oh my god.
So the next soldier has +2 as well.
No.
He is not gonna make it. So this is actually... Who was this? I had his name here somewhere. Let's just see. What did we do with the... What did we do with the chart? Honest, what did I do with the chart?
I don't know.
I think we lost track of our men.
Is it behind that one?
Yes, it's over here. Thanks. Lost track of that. So this is Hugh Glass. And if I can just make an aside.
Yes, please.
Hugh Glass was actually one of the men that Jim Bridger, he traveled with historically.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an incident when they were attacked by a bear, just as is happening now. And Hugh Glass, he was mauled pretty badly. So Jim and another guy was left behind to take care while the rest of the crew, they moved on. And a few days later, Jim and the other guy, they joined the rest of the crew and they said, sorry, Nate, Hugh, he didn't make it. You know, he died out there. It's too bad. We were trying to nurse him back to health, but he just died.
Yeah. We did what we could.
We did what we could. But then later, it's discovered actually that Hugh, he showed up in some town east. So Hugh, he survived. I don't know, he lost a leg or something. So Jim actually abandoned his friend out in the wilderness.
Jim, how could you do this, Jim, and lie about it also?
So this is the only truly negative story I've heard about Jim actually, historically.
Yeah.
I think, but our Jim, I think he's the kind of guy who would leave someone behind who was severely wounded.
Definitely.
He is that kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I think what Jim is thinking right now is one less mouth to feed.
Of course.
So there goes the soldier.
Jim gets worse. I'm sorry, guys, but this is the story of Jim.
This is the story of Jim. So, but Jim survives, so he's happy. Let's do the next hunter. He's also got a +2.
Okay.
Yes, he helps in killing the bear.
Yeah.
Then there's another hunter, also a +2. He also helps killing the bear.
Yeah.
Then there's a doctor. He only has +1 because he's got a rifle, but he's not used to using it.
Ooh.
But he's a pretty bad shot. He's a pretty good shot. He's Dr. Kearney.
Yeah.
Pretty good with the rifle.
Then
we have the guides. First we have oh my god. Can you see what can happen?
I can see how we can break up a marriage here.
We have the first Ute guy. He has a rifle. He has a +1. Oh,
not good.
God. So the Ute guy, who was the only sort of tribal relation to the spouse, he is now dead. So this was and this was Helona, Happy Fortune.
Well, not so happy, it turns out.
Well, yeah. That just shows your name doesn't decide your destiny.
Well, fortune was part of it, I guess.
I guess so. Then now we have Kimmy, the Shoshone, +1.
His name means secret.
His name means secret.
Or?
He survives. But what about his wife?
I'm a little bit scared of this one. I don't want to break up a happy marriage.
His huge wife.
Okay, this is the dice roll to turn the tides.
No, a 3. What is it?
No.
I need my table. I
No.
need my grizzly bear table.
No, grizzly bear table.
I have it here. Is it a 3 total?
Yeah.
He dies.
No. No.
Oh, I don't have a
The
broken
horror.
heart token, unfortunately, but
The horror. Broken heart token would be appropriate.
So Kimmy, he watches they've just gotten married like a month ago.
Oh.
And he watches her mauled to death by a grizzly bear.
Oh my god. It's horrible.
It's pretty bad. Dude, I think Kimmy is gonna be pretty depressed for a while. I hope, I don't know.
Okay, so we're
down to 6 men. We lost a soldier, we lost a guide, and we also lost Kimmy's spouse.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough out here in these woods.
It's pretty bad.
In these pine woods.
Oh, okay. So, and that was just the beginning of the day. That was the
in the
danger.
morning.
That was in the morning. Jesus. Now we have to see if we get lost, because somehow we just need to press on, I think.
Yeah.
We just had 3 members of our party killed.
Yeah.
We've been severely decimated. And Jim is secretly thinking, oh, now we have plenty of rations.
Fucking Jim. You asshole.
Jim's an asshole. There you go. So now we only have 1 guide. So now it's only a die +1.
Severely depressed guide.
I think actually he should not give a +1 to this roll.
No.
Not this turn.
No.
I think he's in mourning.
He's not going to participate.
He's not going to participate. Just roll a die without any modifiers.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
1
fair.
to 3, we get lost.
That's fair. Oh, we don't.
We somehow make it. So even though the Shoshone guide is trailing behind, we make it into new territory. And the new territory that we make it into is a lake.
Okay.
So you have to draw a big blue lake. I think a lake, that sounds pretty good.
We're going over here, right?
Yeah, just left of where we are.
Beautiful lake.
Beautiful lake. A heart-shaped
Perhaps
lake.
a memory
A
of-
broken heart-shaped lake. And then let's see if there's any rivers coming from there. Yeah, there's a river beginning from there, so you have to roll a die and see, or I can do it. The river goes in direction southeast. Yeah, cool. And then we enter into here. So we discovered a lake,
Yeah.
but let's see if we discover anything more. We find this lake, and we find there's a river going down. So we follow that river a little bit, and in the river, as Jim's luck would have it, he finds a huge gold nugget
And Jim.
in the river.
Wow.
It's worth $100.
What?
You know, and Jim has this secret ambition of building a trading post out here in the wilderness. And to build a trading post, he needs $4,000.
So 100 is, well.
There's a bit of a way. But if you get 4,000 and he goes back to town, he can hire a garrison, and then the garrison will accompany him out to somewhere where he wants to set up the trading post. And I think he wants the Jim Bridger trading post. He's dreaming about that.
Of course.
But at least he's got a gold nugget now, which is $100.
So we have a gold nugget. So we're worth $100. We didn't have any money to our names before now.
No, we have $100. I've noted that down. It's pretty cool. So now, while searching for... Again, this is Jim's thinking, right? Instead of setting traps, he starts searching for gold.
And he just lost 3 of his men. He's like, hey guys, I'm just going to go off to the river and see if we can find some. But Jim, we're mourning. We have a ritual tonight. Are you going to be there?
But does this say something about Jim's abilities? That he's good at spotting gold?
So he has some abilities.
Yeah. But it's
But his timing is off.
his timing is off. It's way off. And also, it's if it's something shiny, he'll go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Prize Crew says that our connection is back apparently.
Okay,
so
cool.
we're back online, which is good.
That's excellent.
So you can enjoy the adventures of Jim.
The Adventures of Jim Bridger. Let's see if he has an encounter while he's searching for gold.
Yeah.
He does not. There's nothing to disturb Jim when he's searching for gold.
No, nothing can disturb Jim when
There may have been an encounter, but he wasn't aware.
when he has the glint in his eye. Then nothing can stop him.
That's excellent, Jim. Okay, good luck to you. So now we have to see if this Ute tribe, they move any further.
Yeah.
Here comes the shuffle card at the end of the deck, and they don't move. So now we're back in a hunting situation, and I mean, of course, we just lost 3 men to this grizzly bear, but we also killed it, and that means that we don't have to hunt.
Okay.
We just eat the bear tonight.
So it levels it out.
It just levels it out.
Yeah.
We don't have to do anything.
Okay, that's good. At least.
So we at least we have that. Then, I mean, technically we can check for traps if there are any beavers in the trap, because we didn't move.
We didn't move. Oh, sorry. The counter is still here.
Oh no! Sorry, it's me mixing. What we can do is we can set another trap, or
Why not set a trap? Is my question.
especially because there's a lake and a river.
But even if we don't go back, isn't it? Do we waste anything by setting traps?
We have 5 traps
Okay.
total, but I think a river and a lake is probably the best place of any place
Yeah.
to set a trap.
Yeah.
So I think we should do it really.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
So, do you want to put a trap out there? Shuffle these cards.
I just want to say, do not do this at home. It's poor form to set traps, and you don't even know if you're gonna go back to them. That's really not ethical. Okay, so please don't do that.
Please don't do that at home or in the Rockies.
Yeah, wherever you may be, actually, it applies to all areas.
Yeah. What I'm seeing now, there is a chance if we move due west again that we'll encounter the Ute tribe.
And we have
some explaining to do, because why is the Ute girl not with us?
I don't want to have that discussion.
Do you think we should try to go around the Ute tribe?
That's a long way around.
Do you want to be the one to tell them, or does Jim want to be the one?
Jim is like, guys, you take this one. I'm just gonna go down to the river, look for gold. If you just
he tells Shoshone, and the Ute guy that we had before is also gone.
Dead. Oh, it's not a good sign. Okay, this is bad. This is bad, actually.
But
do they move before we encounter them?
I mean, no, not if we don't get lost.
Hey guys, so funny story. Since last time, we lost your friend and your.
But
your
we
daughter.
also lost a soldier, so it's not that we didn't fight to protect your friends.
I really hope we can deliver this story in with the right.
I think Jim, he's enough of a businessman that he wants to take it on because he thinks maybe I can. The thing is, if we encounter the Ute tribes, Jim may be able to trade for them to give us more guides. Because we have a problem now that we only have one guide. We would actually like a Ute guide.
But would they want to give us more of their men when they see how their destiny...
if we give them enough rifles or a horse.
Maybe. They'll understand.
Yeah. I think actually Jim, he is a practical man.
Yeah. Okay, let's try.
Let's try. Okay, let's do it. So I've shuffled this whole deck, and now we're moving into unknown territory, and it's fall. So we forgot to roll for snow last time, but we'll remember now. Okay. So you roll a die. If it's a 6, it's snowfall. It's not snowfall. This is great. So we move left, unless, of course, we get lost. First, we have to check if there's a danger. There is an event. So it's a 2d6 you have to roll, and we'll consult the event table over here. And I'm sure that's going to be a good event. It's a 7. So, rain pours.
Well, not...
We cannot move this turn. It just...
Well, we have traps.
We have traps. This is good. And I think rain lures the beavers out. So there's no chance that we're failing this.
I'm sure, yeah.
So just as we were trying to get to the Ute tribe and trying to concoct this crazy story about why it's only the Ute people who got killed, almost, it just starts raining.
Yeah.
I would say this is a kind of an omen.
Yeah, it's very poetic, actually.
Yeah. It starts raining. This is just the heavens are crying for the dead people. And we have to see if the Ute tribes move.
Okay.
And they don't. Because it's raining, I guess.
Yeah.
They just stay put.
They're in the same predicament.
Yeah, they are. So now is the time to hunt, to eat, and to check for traps.
Definitely.
So should we start by hunting?
Yeah.
Let's see, what do we have left, actually? We are at a lake, right?
Yeah.
And there's a river. That's already +2. We have a hunter with a rifle. We have 2 hunters with rifle. Have we done this wrong before? Maybe we have. Oh, we have +4. I think we've done it wrong before.
Well, they're learning.
They're learning.
They're still learning.
Now they're true hunters.
Okay.
So we have a +4, which is a natural 1, which is nothing. Again, it's raining. And I guess probably some old flintlock rifles.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense.
The powder is just not catching.
That makes sense.
So they see all these deer running through the forest and stand with the flintlock rifles and nothing's happening.
I can also imagine one of them is probably just standing underneath a tree to get out of the rain, and then when he came back to the rest of the guys, like, sorry, I did my best.
It's dead out here. There's nothing. There's no life in the forest. It's fall, They're all taken off.
It is.
So we have to eat only 6 rations, though. So that's better than 9. Even though the background is a little bit sad.
Okay.
So there you go. And then we have to check for traps.
Yeah.
And how do we do that? We roll a die, and we have +1 if it's a river entry. It is, and it's a lake, that's +2, and it's fall, that's +3. But there's an adjacent encounter, so it's -1, because the Ute tribe is just next door, so to speak. So I guess they might be taking some of the animals from our traps.
Okay.
Or maybe we don't, because there's a tribe right next door. We're not setting so many traps, or we don't want to encroach in the territory or something.
Yeah.
But it ends up at a +2. So it's a die +2.
Okay.
And if you get, basically just, that's awesome. That's 8. And you get to roll again because it's a 6. So it's an exploding die.
Oof.
+5. That's 13 beaver pelts.
Now it's paying off. Finally.
Now, look at this. But, we had to be at a lake. There had to be a river.
Yeah.
It had to be raining.
Yeah.
I mean, these are optimal conditions for beaver hunting.
That's the beaver prime.
This is beaver prime. So this trap just awarded us with 13 beaver pelts.
What are they worth?
Yeah, let me just see what they're actually worth. They are, we have 13 of them. And if we go to town and we want to sell off some of these beavers, they're $10 each. So it's $130.
Wow.
And we got a gold nugget. So we have $230 total.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And we already discovered like a waterfall and a red rock formation. We can sell it off to tourists. Also, every square that we mapped is actually also going to bring us in money, because we can sell it on the map. So right now we mapped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces. I'm just going to record that. So, and each of these spaces are worth, I guess, also $10. That's
$80.
Yeah, it is. Plus the waterfall.
And the red rocks.
They're multiplied by 10. So the waterfall is 10, the red rocks is 10. So they're both $100. So we have several $100 between us here.
Ooh.
This is pretty good.
Catonic Crystal says the other adjacent counter are taking the first before you.
Yeah.
So they're stealing from us. Our good friends of the Ute tribe.
Well, yeah, good friends. Except we
killed
failed.
them.
We failed to protect the Ute guide and the Ute girl from the bear.
So we kind of deserved it.
We kind of deserved it. Okay, so they're scavenging our traps. Fair enough.
You know what? I think we need a sacrificial incense.
Yeah, let's do some more incense.
Where did I put it?
It's over there. And so that was hunting, which we failed at, and we ate. And then we checked the traps, and we found a lot of beaver. We still have rations. I mean, it doesn't look horrible, and we're down to 6 men.
It's all right.
So I mean, we can make it through winter. I hope. And there's a lot. Winter is a long time off. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I won't look at your phone, but I'm sure it's a long time
Famous
off.
last words. Okay.
Okay. So, should we try to do this all over again? Try to connect to the Ute tribe. I mean, now I think things are a little bit in balance because we set up traps.
Yeah.
And they got some of the fur.
That's fair enough.
So-
fair enough. We're even now. A few beavers should cover the losses of 2 of the tribesmen.
Well, you know, not quite, but still, it's something.
Yeah.
Like I think Jim is gonna try to sell it to them. Like, oh, we were setting these traps for you.
Yeah.
We really were setting these traps for you. It's not like we would never have checked them ourselves.
Jim, always the businessman.
He's always the businessman. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's contact the Ute tribe and see if
Let's head straight west. So what we need to do is we need to check for dangers. And there's an event again. Let's hope it's not raining again.
Yeah.
It's 2 die 6 roll you need to make there.
Let's see how it goes.
Sure, it goes well. 11.
Seems good.
Yeah, or not. Who knows?
Or not, who knows?
It's a rare number. 11. Oh! Just after the rains, a terrible thunderstorm appears and lightning strikes.
Okay.
And it kills one of her crew members. Or doesn't necessarily kill a crew member, but almost certainly. Let's see. Okay, so you have to roll a die +1 because you have a doctor, so you may be able to heal him. And you need 6 or more in order for the crew to survive who got hit by lightning.
6 or more.
Yeah, +1 you have. And then the crew survives.
6?
So he's struck by lightning.
Yeah.
It's probably the Shoshone who's just wandering off alone, bereaved in the forest.
Yeah.
And he's struck by lightning.
Jesus.
But Dr. Kearney finds him and
What a hero.
mends his wounds.
What a hero.
So, I mean, I think that kind of means that Dr. Kearney is very respected now. So if we meet Shoshone, I guess that should give us some kind of an advantage.
But I think Dr. Kearney in general should be respected. He helped fight off the bear.
Yeah.
He helped bring back a guy struck by lightning, which is not a small feat, I imagine.
No. And I'm sure he also formed a significant part of the marriage ceremony.
I'm sure. He's the sort of personable guy in the crew. Loved by all.
So, okay, so a Shoshone guy got struck by lightning when
Survived.
he was reaving at the... But perhaps he was... There's almost something fortuitous in that he's going down to the lake, grieving his loss, and then lightning just strikes from above, like, take me. But perhaps this is actually a sign that he has to live.
Yeah.
Because he opened it up to the powers that be and said, you know, lightning, take me if you want to take me.
Yeah.
And it struck him.
He's blessed.
But should he have died? Or, I mean, was the doctor sort of intervening in fate?
No, I think we're already at the mercy of nature. So just the fact that we're together is like is already some sort of fate.
Fair enough. So he made it through. That's pretty good.
Prize crew is still not a fan of Jim.
It's way better than him, that's for sure. Yeah.
It wasn't Jim that was struck by lightning. Jim was hiding in a tent somewhere.
Yeah, Jim was totally safe. It was just and as soon as that guy got struck by lightning, Dr. Kearney said, "Oh, we got to go do something." And Jim was like, "I'm not leaving my tent." And then Dr. Kearney went down on his own.
Yeah.
You know, risking to be hit by lightning himself, I guess.
Yes, for sure. Always the champion, Dr. Kearney.
Always the champion. So, but that actually means that, we have to check if we get lost, actually.
Oh.
And that's a die +1 per guide, and we only have one guide, so it's only +1.
But do we get lost when we know the terrain?
But we don't know the Ute terrain in there,
okay.
actually.
Yeah, okay.
4 is just enough to not get lost.
Great.
So we do actually make contact again with the Ute.
So we reached the Ute tribe.
But we have to see what terrain is there.
Yeah.
And it's alpine. So
Okay.
if you draw an alpine... And let's see if there's a river there as well. A river begins. So you do a spot in the center.
A lot of rivers here.
There's so many rivers. That's good for beaver hunting. And then you just roll a die to see where it extends to. Up there, northwest. Okay. So we are there now with the Ute tribe. And we have to see if we discover anything in this area. Are there any, waterfalls or red rock formations, or what do you know?
Mm-hmm.
And we're in Alpine. In spring, summer, or fall. We're in fall. So, we discover a new species of wildflower.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
That's cool.
And we can sell that information for $50 back in town.
We're starting to get pretty damn rich.
We are. Let me just note down here. Wildflower. That's 50. And then we had 100 for the waterfall. And we had 100 for the red rock formation. That's already 250 just with stuff we discovered. So...
Would it be... If we return to the village now...
Yeah.
It's going to take a few hours, but if we return, what can we use this money for?
We can buy new equipment. We can buy new people, soldiers, hunters, those kind of things.
And there's no outpost out in the wilderness here that we can discover where we can use our money.
Perhaps if we go to the rendezvous, I'm not sure. But the thing is, the rendezvous, it actually stopped.
So
because we're in fall. It's already over. You actually have to roll a die to see where it is next spring.
Okay.
Let's see where the rendezvous is. And you can see there are numbers on these red circled. I can't see from here. Where does it say 5? Is that where it is, perhaps? All the way up. Oh, so the next rendezvous is gonna be all the way up by almost close to the Salt Lake.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna be this spring. I can tell you. So it's a very hypothetical question you ask. What we can do?
Yeah.
But I think the thing that we really can do is, again, which is Jim's ambition. If we have the $4,000, we can pay for the garrison to come out and establish that trading post, which can be called Jim Bridger's.
But can we do that in the middle of the wilderness?
No.
We have to return first.
We have to find $4,000, and I mean we have I think 500 or something, and then we have to go back to town, and then we have to take the garrison with us back out into explored territory and build the trading post.
What an ordeal!
What an ordeal! It's gonna take a few years, I'd say.
Yeah.
But we're out here.
Catonic Crystal says the rendezvous is a supply outpost, but only in spring and summer.
Okay, so we can actually spend our money at the rendezvous, just as if we were in town. It's good to know. I just wish that they would have the rendezvous the same place that they have it last year.
Please, guys, why do you move it around? It's not making it easier. Oi! Alarm goes off.
Is it winter?
It's winter already. God damn it. Okay, I'll quickly set a reminder for spring.
Okay, do that. Okay, but let's just finish this space before we go into winter, because it gets too confusing.
Fair enough.
We discovered a beautiful wildflower, a beautiful autumn flower, apparently.
Yep.
Which is cool. And then the next thing we do is to see if there's an encounter beyond what we already have. We may have multiple encounters. And there are no encounters.
Mm-hmm.
So what we now do is that we meet up with the Ute tribe. And now it is the time that we have some explaining to do.
We definitely have some explaining to do.
So I think that, to be fair here, we're friendly with them.
Yeah.
Which game mechanically means we get a +1. I think because we show up without any of the Ute people, we should say we don't have a +1.
That's fair enough.
I think that's fair.
It's not a good sign.
It's not a good sign. So what are we going to do? We could hide from them.
In shame?
We could hide from them. Or we could just ignore them. Like,
both would be quite off. It's not really...
It's not Jim's way, is it?
No.
Then we can trade or we can cheat. Cheat means trading at a better profit. But then there is an increased risk that it goes wrong.
It would be morally corrupt to cheat.
I think Jim is morally corrupt.
Yes,
so I'm just saying, it's a possibility. We can seek to renew our friendship with them.
Probably that's what we should
Or we can combat them, which is probably not what we should do.
No.
But I think friendship is a valuable option. I also think that trade would be interesting because it would mean that we could ask them to supply us with a guide or
another guide.
Yeah, or a soldier or so. Probably a guide, but someone to replace the lost Ute guide.
Yeah, okay. It's a little bit of a bold ask, but we could do that.
I think it makes sense in the circumstances because the thing is, with only one guide, we'll often get lost.
But maybe Jim doesn't care about morals, and he just asks for another guide.
I don't think it's a problem for Jim.
No.
I mean, he just sends the doctor to do the explaining.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, cool. So let's do a trade. We have to roll a d6, and let's see. We don't get the bonus here. We do get a bonus because Jim's a businessman.
Yeah.
And then we can give rifles to them to smoothen up the deal.
Yeah.
To just make them want to trade with us.
Yeah.
Each rifle gets another +1.
Okay, so we have to decide before we roll.
Yeah.
Can we give up 2 rifles?
Sure. Then we have +3.
And we need how much?
We need a 5.
Okay, we could...
Just one?
One rifle is fine. Okay, we do 1 rifle.
So that's a +2 total.
Yeah.
And 1 is a natural failure. A natural 1 is a failure.
Oh.
Did I need to say that again? Okay. So what happens here? This is interesting. What happens here? We show up to the Ute guide. We come up and they're all asking about the bride and the guide. What happened to them? And Jim starts explaining. Well, there was this bear. You know, they came down and they're like, "What about you guys? You have rifles? Don't you know how to fight bears?" Well, you know, we were off looking for gold. I mean, we were doing other stuff. And Jim, he's trying to gloss over the fact that they lost these. But he said, like, give us a new guy. We need a new guy. We need someone to... That guy, he couldn't fight off a grizzly bear. You know, even if he had to. He couldn't fight off a grizzly bear. So just give us a new guide. And what happens is that they go on the warpath with us.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's not good.
They see the error of our ways.
They see the error of Jim's ways. So what we have to do now is... First, I'm gonna...
We have to fight off a tribe?
Flip this. I don't know what we're gonna do. We have to do a warpath roll. We haven't done this before.
Oh my god. Not good. As if winter was not bad enough.
Yeah. It's just a flat d6 roll because we don't get the friendly bonus that we would otherwise get. So just... I don't want to look at what happens. Just roll and let's find out.
Okay, here we go.
I think high is good.
Fighting the Ute tribe.
But it's not necessarily fighting, but they're hostiles. We'll see how their hostilities manifest
if we
themselves.
can convince them to lay down their arms.
So everybody's saying, Jim, cool down. You know, don't ask for stuff that's not yours.
A 5. Should be good.
Okay. Do we have a guide of the same tribe?
Not anymore.
No. If we had, they would abandon our crew.
Okay.
And then the tribe just moves away from us.
Would have been nice.
So you roll a direction and a number of squares. So they pack up and say, we're not going to give you any guides, but screw you. You can find out for yourself. We're not going to explain how this wilderness works.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think this is actually a very
kind of
decent response.
Best case scenario, and it makes sense.
It makes total sense.
Okay, let's see. Move 6.
Where is that? That's west. No, yeah, that's a direction. And then you roll a die for how many spaces. Okay. They may run right into the Sasquatch.
2.
2 spaces. Okay, cool.
Did we forget to roll the Sasquatch?
We only do that when they move of their own volition, so that's in a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, every time an encounter moves, the Sasquatch also moves.
Okay.
So, okay. I think that was a beautiful scene. It shows some...
I understand where they're coming from. Of course, we lost 2 of their guys.
Yeah.
Then They don't trust us anymore.
But and
Why
it
should they?
shows something about Jim's mentality, right? That he believes that he can come up to this tribe and just act as if nothing happened.
If it works, it works.
Give us another guy.
Yeah. You know, he can't read the room.
No, I think this was a lucky escape for Jim.
Yeah.
I think he could easily have gotten scalped right
And
there.
I don't know. I don't think Jim knows how close he got to being marauded by the
I don't
Ute
think
tribe.
Jim is kind of a very reflective character. I think he just acts.
Yeah.
And he just expects things to go his way.
Yeah. He just expects to find a gold nugget in the lake.
Exactly. While it's raining and lightning is striking and people are dying and getting mauled by grizzly bears, he goes searching for gold nuggets and he finds them.
And of course he finds it. What an asshole.
What an asshole, Jim. So,
Okay.
Okay, that's cool. So, that was an encounter with the tribe. And now we have to see if they move further, actually. We have to take a move encounter. They don't move further. This was all the movement. Now is hunting season.
We have to hunt.
Yeah, what's the terrain out here? There's a river. That's pretty good. And we have 2 hunters with rifles.
And when does it turn to winter?
Oh.
Not yet, or?
Let's just finish this turn, because it gets too confusing, I think.
Yeah.
So, it's a die +3. So this is going to be our last good hunt. +4 because it's fall.
Better be good. And what about rifles and hunters and?
That's +4 when everything is added.
Ooh!
Whoa! Is that? Yeah.
10?
Roll again. We find a bison herd.
Ooh.
A herd of bisons.
Here we go.
So we roll again, and add modifiers again. So we're already at 10, and now we are at 18 rations.
That's great.
We just, I don't know, killed numerous bisons.
Like you did at that time.
Like this time. So we're 18, and we're 6 people, so we get 12.
That's great.
For
That's
storage.
Really good. It's good for winter.
I mean, that was Jim getting lucky, and he's just like,
once again, Jim gets lucky.
You know, the Ute tribe left, and all these bisons were here. I mean,
yeah, it's kind of.
I mean, why would they do that?
Why would they do that?
But that's Jim's kind of thinking.
Yeah.
But maybe because he thinks that when you see a bison, you just kill it. Perhaps the Ute thinks when you see a bison,
they have a more holistic approach.
You kill one or something.
Yeah,
Jim just kills 10.
Yeah.
Even though, I mean, he doesn't even worry if he can carry everything.
No.
But he takes it. Okay. So.
And we eat.
Yeah, we're already eaten.
Oh, okay.
So we're actually done for the turn. And now
it's winter.
It's winter. Let's see how that looks. So we're almost through a year. I mean, we've been traveling for like 9 months.
Yeah.
This is how far we've gotten. I mean, we've gotten somewhere.
We've gotten pretty far, actually.
Yeah, I think so. So everybody, this is winter coming
arrives.
up. And as you can see, it's fruitful and hospitable, welcoming country. And we're in a forest. We're not in the mountains.
No.
Let's see what happens at the beginning of winter. The Ute tribe there, they move 6 spaces to the west.
Okay.
They know winter is coming, and they know what to do in winter.
Yeah.
We're, of course, just sitting here. So every time we move now, we have to roll a die. And maybe it's good weather, maybe it's snowing, maybe there's a blizzard. And that's pretty bad. We cannot move through mountains or through passes. We cannot use canoes, not that we have any. And hunting and trapping is... lakes and rivers do not provide bonuses to hunting and trapping.
Okay.
They're frozen over.
Sure.
And at the end of every turn, if it snows and we're not in a cabin or with a tribe that has tents, then we have to roll a d6 for each crew, and on a 6 they die.
Fuck. That's pretty brutal.
That's pretty brutal. Should we? I mean, we might
build
consider.
a cabin or...
But the thing is, we also, I feel that we're close to the Sasquatch.
It's
and
true.
I think that Jim, I mean, building a cabin would be holding up for the winter. I think, let's see how it goes.
A Sasquatch would be easier to spot during wintertime.
Absolutely. And all that fur
Yeah.
would keep us warm through the winter. I think that's how he's selling it to the crew.
Make great hats.
If we get the Sasquatch, there'll be plenty of furs for you in the night. We make beautiful sleeping bags for you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's keep press on.
I think so. And let's see how I mean, if they get decimated, then the few remaining can perhaps start building a cabin or something.
Yeah.
So
the prize crew, nice, lovely art. Yes, for sure.
Absolutely. So, where are we break-wise? How long have we moved for?
I think now would be a good time to take a break.
And then do winter. So just do like a 5-minute break and then do winter.
Yeah.
Which may be the end of Jim Bridger. Or who knows, but
he gets lucky sometimes.
If we can travel 4 spaces to the west, I mean, we know each space is really difficult.
But haven't the Sasquatch moved?
No, they don't move in this winter event. It's only if I draw a card that says encounter movement.
Okay.
And again, we don't even know if the Sasquatch is there. There's just a report.
I really hope it's there because.
But Jim is telling everybody, like, it's there for sure. I know.
I know.
I have hard evidence.
Exactly. Jim, he's a convincing guy.
It's
if nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, the crew is still with him.
Yeah, for some ungodly reason.
Despite the Ute just like taking off, we don't want anything to do with this madman. So we're snowed in at the frozen lake, but we have whiskey.
Yeah.
And we somehow manage through the cold.
Yeah.
And
does the game end if Jim fall?
Well, then technically someone else can become the group leader.
Who would want to lead this group of?
I think
maybe the doctor.
I think Dr. Kearney is sort of next in line.
He's the true hero.
I mean, the hunters, they're just going around hunting for food, and they're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're too invested in anything else.
No. They just want to return.
Yeah. So that was the end of that turn. So now, again, we have to try to... Oh, wait a sec. We forgot to do that before. And now... Where were we? We just roll those end of turn rolls, which we should roll before. And
roll for the weather conditions.
Yeah, so... I can't remember where we were. Let's just do this turn from scratch. We're trying to move into the Sasquatch area. Is there a...
Yeah, but we went back in time to fix the weather things.
But how far were we in the turn when we went back in time?
No, but we rolled for weather.
Yeah.
And so I guess at the end of turn.
Okay, so we just do a new turn.
Yeah, we do a new turn.
But then we have to hunt and eat, right?
Yes.
Wait, let's hunt.
Yeah.
None of the hunters succumbed to the cold. And Jim, he's sending them out, but they're not finding anything.
No.
I think they just go, like... just into the woods.
They're too cold. They don't want to leave.
They just go behind the trees and then they come back and say, sorry, Jim.
Couldn't find it. Sorry.
Couldn't find anything. So 5 rations eaten. There we go.
And another thing, we have to...
Winter ended.
Ended.
It's spring now.
Yeah.
The next turn is spring. That's going to hopefully make it easier for us to get to the Sasquatch.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. We've been out here for a full year now.
Yeah. Wow.
A full year in the Rockies.
Well, you can say what you want about Jim, but he actually made it a full year.
He made it a full year, and he doesn't stand down.
No. He has a one-track mind.
Absolutely. Let's see. There are no tribes, so there's no tribal movement.
Oh.
Rivers are now dangerous, so it's dangerous to cross rivers. But trapping is better, and hunting is better.
Hunting is good.
Yeah.
Trapping we haven't done so much.
No, we should remember. But I think setting traps in winter is... Yeah. Maybe we'll set a trap now. Let's see. We could, but...
well, if we do get the Sasquatch, we need to return with to cash in.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, now we know the Sasquatch territory. It's a lake. So we don't have to roll to get lost. So we're actually gonna... What we're gonna do is... If we only move 1 space into the lake and we have horses, meaning that we don't have to draw danger and we're not getting lost. So we will actually go to the Sasquatch now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Should we do it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
We know the terrain. There's a lake. There's no rivers. And... Oops. Let's see.
Sasquatch time.
let's see if we discover anything at this lake. Because even though Jim is looking for Sasquatches, he's also looking for gold nuggets.
Yeah.
And other
trinkets.
We're not in mountains, so it doesn't apply.
Okay.
Then we have to see if there's an encounter other than the Sasquatch. There's not, because it's an explored space.
Mm-hmm.
And then comes the Sasquatch. And I think chances of locating a Sasquatch are really low.
What?
So, determine
news to me.
whether a Sasquatch is present. I mean, you just have to roll it. Let's see. You roll a d6. You need to get a 6.
What?
But we get a +1 if we have a scout. We don't. +1 if it's alpine or mountain hex. It's not. -2 if it's plains, brush, or desert. It's not. -2 if it's winter. Good job we didn't do this in winter.
Yeah.
So right now, everything comes down. You need to roll a 6.
Oh my god.
And if you roll that 6, then it's true that the Sasquatch is here.
Okay, guys, this is the moment. This is the Sasquatch moment. Can I roll a 6? Do we discover the Sasquatch? Do we see it in the edge of the trees?
Jim certainly sees shadows moving across the other side of the lake.
He's been seeing shadows this whole time. That's the thing with Jim. He doesn't know. Okay.
Go find me that Sasquatch, he says.
Okay, here we go. We've been traveling for 12 months.
How many hours we've been streaming for? More than 4 hours?
4 hours.
To find the Sasquatch.
This is the Sasquatch moment. The other Sasquatch sightings are more than double the length and time to reach.
So this can either be a story of Jim discovering something that'll basically change the history of the world.
Yes.
There are these prehistoric creatures that roam the woods of the old American West.
And they discovered 200 years ago.
Or it can be the story of Jim inventing the story of these prehistoric creatures.
Which he would probably do.
Let's see if he invents the story or not.
Okay, here we go. This is the time. This is the moment.
So, does Sasquatch exist or not? You'll find out now on the Hopeless stream only.
Only here. You saw it here first. Does Sasquatch indeed exist? Here we go. On a 6, we discovered a Sasquatch. 6 or less. Jim saw a Sasquatch and no one else saw it.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah. There was something behind the tree. Sketch it quickly. Sketch it quickly.
You didn't see it? What?
Okay.
How could you miss it? It was so obvious.
It was so obvious. So what's happening now is Jim's been traveling for a year.
Yeah.
Spring has returned. He's standing at a beautiful lake.
Oh.
He's seeing shadows out of the corners of his eye. He's having, like, Dr. Kearney reluctantly sketches something for Jim. and this is the sketch that Dr. Kearney he makes.
Yeah.
So, and Jim is...
That's more than enough for
Jim is more than satisfied. I'm gonna take this back to town.
Yeah.
But I think perhaps there's also a moment of Jim not really... Perhaps Jim becomes obsessed with the Sasquatch being in the area. So he says, guys, we're gonna stay here.
Yeah.
We're gonna hunker down, we're gonna build a cabin.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna stay here until we see the Sasquatch.
But I also think that Jim is the kind of guy who, like we talked about, it doesn't really matter if the Sasquatch is there. He can still sell it as a tourist attraction.
I think he can, but I mean...
He's gonna be long gone before any tourists reach that area.
It's true, but I think it's... right now for me, it's kind of a story beat, because I think we're nearing the end of Jim's story. And I would like Jim's story to be that he ended up here and he built a cabin in the lake because he thought he saw a Sasquatch. And he spends the rest of his life... Searching for that Sasquatch. Wow. So I think to honor Jim, as much as you can honor Jim, I think we should try to do is we should try to end this game by having Jim build a cabin.
The Sasquatch cabin.
It's gonna take him 4 turns to build a cabin, but he's just gonna stay put.
Yeah.
It's a cabin by the lake. It's all good, and I mean, there's not gonna be any Sasquatches.
No.
But he's gonna look for it. Instead of putting up traps, he's probably gonna go searching for Sasquatches.
Yeah. That's his new life.
Yeah.
Price crew. My power went off. What happened? Well, you missed the best part or the worst part. I don't know. You missed the Sasquatch, and so did Jim. Well, I think Jim, in his mind, he saw it. In his mind's eye.
In his mind's eye, saw it, but he wants proof.
Yeah.
He wants proof because I think he understands really that Dr. Kearney's sketch is not going to sell it to the townsfolk.
No, we need a little bit of fur, a little bit of something more concrete.
Yeah, we need a skull.
Yeah. So Jim has decided to stay put, and he's going to wait out the Sasquatch.
Yeah, he's going to wait out the Sasquatch. So what we're going to do now is we're going to end this journey by spending 4 turns building a cabin, staying put.
Yeah.
And just see how that goes.
We're going to wait out the Sasquatch.
We're going to wait out the Sasquatch. I like this. So I think we're still... I think that Jim stops hunting. He's only hunting for Sasquatch. So I think each turn we're just going to spend rations right out of our stock.
Yeah, for sure. We're searching for Sasquatch.
We stopped hunting now.
We're searching for Sasquatch.
We're 5 people, we'll eat 5 rations. And if you see a deer or an elk, don't shoot it.
No.
Just go for the Sasquatch. I only want to see a dead Sasquatch at the front door of my cabin.
For sure.
So
this is Jim. He's gone full crazy now.
He's gone full crazy.
The whiskey got to him.
Yeah, and the Sasquatch shadows. And these other guys are kind of caught in Jim's game.
Yeah.
I think maybe if Jim builds his cabin, maybe they're just gonna leave him.
I think it will be called Jim's cabin, and Jim is going to live there alone.
It's going to be one of those landmarks that today that you can travel, and then your Lonely Planet guide, it'll say, "Oh, Jim's cabin," and there'll be some like old derelict structure at the lakeside, and then there'll be some, I don't know, some phony plaque saying something about this is where Jim Bridger is alleged to have sighted the Sasquatch.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can take a photo and a selfie, and
so he's gonna set this up as a tourist attraction that no one will ever reach.
Yeah. This is gonna be a fabled tourist attractions for years to come. This is the Sasquatch tourist attraction.
Oh, did you make it out to Jim's cabin? I heard it was great.
But look where he builds it, right at the westernmost edge of the Rockies.
Wow.
So it's just before coming down to the tableland.
Beautiful.
It is kind of beautiful.
Can we turn on Jim and eat him as we run out of supplies?
We are playing with the cannibal rule.
Yeah.
But we haven't effected it yet because we still have supplies. But let's see how the cabin building goes.
Yeah. So we enact the cabin building.
It's 4 turns of cabin building.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
So this is the finale.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. We build a monument to Jim.
Let's build a monument to Jim. And the way this is going to go is that basically every turn we're going to build, and we're just going to see if anybody shows up. And that's all.
Any one of the crew shows up? Or
no, any other encounters, like tribes or trappers or whatever. And there is actually here a counter for the cabin. It's really hard to see for you guys. I guess this is it's probably not focusing.
You have to sort of cover. If I do this, I think it will work.
Yeah, there you got it. This is the cabin that Jim is trying to build. And he builds it in 4 turns, so I'm going to flip it around. You can see it says 1 to 4. So I'll put it at 1, and then we'll turn it until it's at 4.
Yeah.
So this is the first turn of building the cabin at the edge of the Rockies by the lake where Sasquatch probably wasn't, but Jim believes it was.
Jim believes.
So we're building that, and then we see if there's an encounter.
Yeah.
And there is an encounter.
Yeah.
And what is the encounter? Oh. The Ute tribe shows up again.
The Ute tribe is the least...
This is the Ute Sun tribe. It's a different branch of the Ute tribe.
More aggressive? More friendly?
I guess that rumor travels. So they're not going to be friendly, that's for sure.
No, probably not.
I mean, they're not outrightly hostile, and I think, okay, this guy's building a cabin here.
You don't understand, guys. We're building a tourist attraction. Don't you get it?
So let's see. How should Jim deal with this tribe? Should he hide from it? Should he ignore it? Should he try to trade with it or cheat it? Should he develop friendship, or should he outright attack it?
I think he's losing his marbles right now.
Don't you think he's starting a fight?
Yeah, they're invading on his tourist attraction.
They're scaring the Sasquatch away. Jim wants the Ute Sun tribe to go away from Sasquatch territory.
He's soured on the Utes.
He's definitely soured on them. He orders his hunters to attack them.
Yeah. Because when they left him, he was making a deal. He had all his rifle, everything, and they left in the middle of a business deal. You don't do that in Jim's world.
No, that's unforgivable.
You don't turn your back on Jim.
You don't turn your back. So so Jim is gonna attack them.
Yeah.
This is very exciting. I have no idea how this works. Let's see. Do we have any soldiers?
No. We have a lot of rifles, though.
How strong is this tribe? They have a strength of 3. Okay. But Jim doesn't care about he being outnumbered, does he?
No. He already built a few logs on his cabin, so he has a little bit of cover.
Okay. So you roll a die +3 for the tribe, and I roll a die +0 for Jim.
Okay.
And his crew. 4.
4, yeah.
Come on. Perhaps he can do it.
Yeah.
Perhaps he can scare away the Ute Sun tribe because he's so megalomaniac.
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay.
So the Ute Sun win by 3.
So it's 1 and 1.
Yeah, which is 1 and 4 actually.
Okay.
The Ute tribe has 4 and Jim has 1. So they win by 3.
Okay.
And that means that there will be 3 casualties.
We don't start with Jim. We start with...
We roll.
Oh, we roll.
1 through 5. 6s are re-rolls.
Okay, let's see how this goes.
Okay, so the Ute Sun starts by killing off Louis Vasquez, one of the hunters, that Jim sends out foolishly with a gun to confront them, and they just shoot him outright, naturally. Then... Jim takes a bullet.
Jim takes a bullet? Oh, he deserved that bullet.
He deserved that bullet. Jim takes a bullet. He's shot down by the Ute Sun tribe.
Poetic justice.
Poetic justice. He sends Louis out with his rifle, and Louis is just shot through the head.
Yeah.
And then Jim goes out.
Yeah.
What are you doing, you bastards?
Yeah.
With his rifle.
Let me show you how it's done.
Let me show you how it's done. He just cocks his gun, and he gets a bullet through the head. And they raid over. Let's see, they're gonna kill one more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dr. Kearney.
No, you are the next in line, Dr. Kearney.
I think Dr. Kearney...
Dr. Kearney had the chance to bring sense to this group.
But I think Dr. Kearney is so faithful to Jim that he actually goes out and tries to save Jim.
He's kind of wrapped up in the moment.
Yeah. He sees Jim taking a bullet, and he goes out to save him, and they just shoot him. They don't understand that this is the guy who wanted to make... He was trying to convince Jim, look, we're in a cabin. We're not in a cabin. We're in the foundations of a cabin, and we're surrounded by Ute Sun tribes, and they're attacking us. Don't shoot them.
Yeah.
Just don't do that.
Jim didn't hear any of that.
So what is left now is Jedediah Smith, who was actually, historically, part of Jim Bridges' group, and went on after sort of being a trainee with Jim to become a mountain man in his own right.
Wow.
I don't know if...
Inspired by the journeys.
I don't know his story, so I don't know if he turned good or bad, or how he turned, but he actually survived to become a mountain man. And then the Shoshone tribesmen, I don't know how they're going to deal with them. But I think the end of the matter is that probably the Ute tribe takes these 2 people prisoner.
Most likely.
Yeah.
And the fate is probably not the best.
No. Perhaps they let Jedediah Smith survive in order to have someone to tell the story of Jim.
Yeah, they sent him on his merry way back to town.
To tell them, this is what a bastard Jim was, and this is what we do to these kind of fur trappers.
Don't come out here thinking you know what's going on.
Don't come out and bring civilization with us. So it's true, Nate. We have 2 people left, but we're gonna end the story here.
Yeah.
Because this was the story of Jim, and Jim died, and I think the Shoshone guy, he's probably been taken into the group because he was married to a Ute. So I think
they may have a soft spot for him.
I think they do. I think they take him back. Maybe he marries another Ute, or perhaps he becomes a kind of guide or informer for the youth, telling them about these fur travelers who are obviously crazy.
But I also think Jim's story maybe serves as a warning, but for other trappers.
But Jim's story is being told by Jedediah Smith. I mean, if Jedediah Smith had not survived this attack, we wouldn't. I mean, you could go to Wikipedia, and the Jim Bridger article wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
It's only because that Jedediah Smith lived to tell the story of Jim Bridger. So
thank fuck Jim's dead. Well, Jim had his moments. He found that piece of gold in the river.
Yeah.
He found red rocks.
But I'm kind of happy that Jim didn't end up building a Jim Bridger trading post.
No, it would have been too much.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve it.
He was just a crazy guy ending up in... And the thing is, if you go today, and perhaps Nate knows where this exact hex is today in the Rockies.
I'm pretty sure that Nate knows all the hexes. He's been there. He's been there with a little map and sketching it out. Oh, it has a little pine tree there. Oh, beautiful.
But I think if you go there today, you will find the foundations of a cabin, and you will find a plaque saying this is where Jim Bridger died, fighting the Ute Sun tribe while searching for Sasquatch.
Yeah. Drunk and cowardly.
Yeah. And more tragically, you've seen...
Oh, here we go. Let's get into the lore of the Bigfoot.
Okay, this is exciting.
So Ketonic Crystal, tell us, were we close? Were we close to where the Bigfoot was sighted on your accounts? We need the down low of the Bigfoot.
Yeah, but I mean, but the thing is that Jim thought it was in the Western Rockies. They're in that area. There you go.
They are in that area.
Okay, so maybe Jim wasn't crazy. Maybe those shadows he saw.
But that's always what's so intriguing with psychos. You know, they may be onto something.
Yeah.
You just haven't seen it yet.
But
that's the alluring factor of psychos. That's why he's able to lead 10 men into the Rocky Mountains without a hope and a prayer.
Yeah. So I guess the best thing that Jedediah he can say when he gets back to St. Louis is that Jim said he saw something that night.
Yeah.
But nobody else saw it.
Yeah.
But Jim said, and he had Dr. Kearney draw this sketch.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure Dr. Kearney believed it, but who can tell? Because Dr. Kearney was shot trying to save Jim.
So we only have Jedediah's accounts.
That's going to live. And then, of course, we have Nate's account.
I'm very curious about this. Because this area is so huge. Jim's kind of good potential cult leader.
Cult of the Sasquatch.
That would be amazing.
That would be an amazing twist to the story. I think if Jim had survived, he could go down in the books as a cult leader. But I think people may refer back to him now. People may here 200 years later start talking about Jim Bridger and how he saw the Sasquatch.
The Sasquatch hunter.
And you just have to follow. People are reading Jim's diaries.
Yeah, and they're traveling in his footsteps.
Yeah, looking at his old maps that you so beautifully drew.
The cartographer in me.
Yeah.
Nobody.
This was awesome.
And I think this game is... I had a blast. Just to go through this whole... We actually got quite far.
Yeah.
I would say we got quite far. We kind of maybe we curbed the game a little in the end just to sort of round it up, but I also think this is a kind of like we don't have any more time to.
No, I mean the story ends here. This was the story of Jim Bridger, told in 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
In Rocky Mountain Man.
And I think that's the beauty of those games. It's not about you winning or losing. It's about you experiencing a story. And you get to curve the story. You get to choose the adventure.
But I think with many of these games, I mean, the way we play them, we also always try to storytell the games because they become more alive in that way. And I think the more loose a game is, we've been talking about that before. That we really like games that gives us a prompt that we can tell over. We don't need like full prose. We just need a prompt.
Yeah.
And then we spin our own story.
Just having a blizzard. That's enough.
Yeah, just tell us there's a blizzard, and then in the context of what has happened before, we'll tell the story of the blizzard.
And I think this game beautifully laid down those little breadcrumbs. Like we married a Ute woman.
Yeah.
Or one of our crew members.
One of our crew members did, to Jim's dismay. But
and then it beautifully wrapped into the fact that we actually met the Ute tribe again, had to sort of explain to them that the Ute woman was killed by a bear.
Yeah.
Which is not an easy thing to do, and it didn't work, of course.
No, of course it didn't work. But it was also beautiful that the Ute tribe showed up in the end, and basically the way that Jim he dealt with them after.
It's pathetic that there was the Ute tribe that killed off.
And I mean, it wasn't the same Ute tribe. This was the Ute son, but I think they heard.
They knew
because the other tribe went underground after meeting Jim. They disappeared off the map.
Yeah.
And then they just shows up at this cabin, and they're just like, okay, this is the crazy guy.
This is the guy they've been talking about.
Yeah.
Let's finish him off.
I'm kind of sad they killed the doctor. Because I think Dr.
Kearney...
He
didn't deserve it.
Dr. Kearney was... I don't know, but I think the soldiers and the hunters, they seem to just be hired guns. But Dr. Kearney, he was kind of a lovable character.
Yeah. And he actually... He did his best.
Yeah. So I grieve for Dr. Kearney. But, you know, that's what it's about.
It's not about the randomness or danger. It's about the Sasquatch we meet along the way. Very beautifully put.
Yeah, a poetic round-off to this. So, yeah, okay. So, I think we're gonna wind down. But yeah, we've already said it. But I'm so surprised at how as wonderful this game is and how it just prompts us to tell these stories. And I don't know. I mean, this game could have gone a million ways.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that we could actually have kept going if we had been more strategical about it. But that's not really the point.
Well, I think the point is to tell a good story, really.
And that's what it's very easy to do in this game.
Yeah,
where it flowed really well, and everything sort of happened in a sort of poetic way.
Yeah, and it was very... And the funny thing, I think we've had this experience also playing... I mean, Barbarian Prince is the most obvious comparison of the other streams we did. But this thing, when you have these things where just a lot of random prompts are thrown at you, you always have the feeling at the end of the game, like... I mean, we were so lucky that the game told that story for us.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that whatever had happened in this game, it would have become a story.
Yeah, for sure.
And... this became a brilliant story, and any other outcome would have become just as brilliant a story, I think, because it's not really about. Everything is contextual. So I mean, if we'd started building a cabin earlier, or if we have attacked the Ute tribe at the beginning, I don't know when we were done, but we would always end up with a story. So randomness in game, it's a beautiful narrative engine. Because randomness gives you those prompts, whereas games where you can think everything out from... I mean, there are no surprises. Then you can play poorly, you can play well. But these story games that has this random elements that just prompt your mind to come up with stories. This is just a brilliant example of it.
Yeah, and I also think that the fact that we had so much to go on, also the historical part of it, that the Jim is actually a real person that existed, so we could riff on that. We could bring that into the game.
Yeah,
and he had character traits, so just help to sort of bring him to life. That's really interesting because you can also play as other mountain men.
We could also have decided that we were one of the crew members. We could have decided we were Dr. Kearney, that we were not Jim.
Yeah.
Or that we were the Shoshone.
Because Jim could have died on the first bear encounter. And then we would have been playing.
Yeah, but
another
even
character.
if we had Jim, we could have decided we're going to tell this story from the perspective of one of the people in his crew.
Yeah.
So I mean, this kind of makes me want to hunt down a copy of Source of the Nile. And try to give it a playthrough.
But you say it's a controversial game.
Well, it's of course controversial because of post-colonial critique and because it's about the white man discovering Africa and all that. So I don't know. I mean, we'd have to look into it if it's.
But I think if you can talk about it in that context,
yeah,
so everyone knows what's going on.
Yeah, it's just about contextualizing it and not making it heroic. I mean, playing this today was great. There's a note in the rule book that's talking about how do you actually talk about.
Yeah, this game has a note in the rule book.
This has a note about is it Native Americans? Is it American Indians? Is it tribes? What words do you use? And it's for us who don't even live in the U.S. It's difficult to know what to. But trying to contextualize it. Contextualize like that is makes the experience and I mean,
but I think it's also important to be aware of where it's coming from.
Absolutely,
and just to be and to actually state up front that this is what's going on.
Yeah, and I honestly think that there is some truth to the fact that these mountain men, in exploring the territory, they were also inadvertently paving the way for what came after them.
Yeah.
So I think that it is true that in their escape from civilization, they were also bringing civilization with them.
Yeah,
and they
double-edged sword.
I mean, a guy like Jim, you know, what are these Ute Sun tribe people gonna think about fur trappers after meeting this crazy guy who builds cabins in the middle of the woods searching for ghosts?
Yeah.
I mean, what are they gonna think?
Yeah. Let's just catch up on chat here. What do we have here? Bridget was the first American to find Yellowstone.
Okay, wow.
Oh, wow. Brilliant game, brilliant players. Thank you. And thanks to Cave of Evil and Pit of Infinite Shadows for creating this game, which is right up our alley, I have to say.
Absolutely. So when you described it, also been like hearing about King Kong Skull Island,
What is that?
I think that's where King Kong lives.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Something like that.
Great session, I agree. This was a lot of fun. It's not about... Yeah, we saw that. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, Sina Dante. I love the fact that we never met the Sasquatch. It leaves me wanting more, like a great book.
Yeah, there's replay value here.
Yeah. And also, the Sasquatch was an expansion to the game, fan-made, I think.
Yeah.
And I just think it sort of creates an extra thing to discover, which is always...
Yeah, I mean, you could also say you're trying to map a river or discover some site, but I think we both like the mysterious stuff.
It's funny because this game doesn't, on its own, it doesn't have a supernatural element.
No.
But this actually expands the fantasy world, or it brings it into a fantasy world.
Yeah, it adds adds a bit of mystery, definitely. That's cool.
I really enjoy all the various kinds of adventure games here. The Perfect Myth. Yes, it remained, the Sasquatch remained a myth in this one. Source of the Night is great. It is so minimal that it relies almost entirely on imagination. Do you have any experience that...
I haven't played Source of the Night, unfortunately, but I've known about it for years and wanted to play it. So I think we should look into that, and I'm sure that we could play it in a way that would make sense.
Yeah, but I also think that we're quite good at having the present day at mind when we sort of journey into this. For instance, the way that you could... It's quite obvious from a modern day perspective when you play a character like Jim that this guy is... off his hinges.
Yeah.
There's not... Yeah, I don't think that all of these adventurers, the same when we played Endurance, these kind of adventurers, they are a special breed, and they're not maybe the most healthy, mentally stable people.
And the same thing as in Endurance, right? Yeah. This expedition to the Antarctic, this thing about being able to getting other people to follow along with your ideas.
That's what I always think is a little bit... It's interesting and it's scary, and it's the human nature, and it's all these things, but it's interesting to talk about it and explore it in these games.
Yeah.
Because it is historically, that's kind of what happened, but then you wonder how were they able to lead a group of men into the unknown?
It must
what kind of personality do you have to have?
Charismatic personality. Perhaps that's where the call of the Sasquatch comes in.
Yeah, and I can't help but think that these kind of people, they exist, and they are perhaps a little bit dangerous.
Yeah,
and that's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. No, but I mean, Source of the Nile it's definitely a possibility, I'd say.
Most people I've met that are in tribal groups say American Indian is fine, but if you don't know the tribal name, you can just ask.
Right.
Okay, Sinidante, see you off to work. Be safe. Yeah, see you, Sinidante. Yeah, that's also a thing that we talked about, that it's in the rules that they are in the.
Yeah, that you I mean you clean the board and then you start again. But I mean we had
No, about the native tribes.
Yeah, this footnote there about
Yeah.
how you call an American Indian is fine.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's good. That's what we did.
Yeah.
And yes, you do clean the map after each play. We were thinking today that if we had died early, we would start a new character and we'd keep the map, and then maybe make an expedition to try to recover the corpse of the first expedition.
That would have been cool, actually.
That would have been another good story.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So another good, sometimes overlooked adventure game is Richard Berg's. Yeah, Blackbeard. I played that back in the 90s.
Oh, you played it?
Yeah, I played it. It has all these historical pirate characters.
Cool.
We had a lot of fun with it.
Okay, Prize Crew, thanks for now and good night.
Yeah.
But I think that is good night.
I think it is good night. I think we have to do our just outro.
Yeah.
Which is basically stop winning. Start losing. Stay hopeless. That's where we go.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for tonight.
Guys.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for the game, Nate. It's awesome.